has confirmed Sunday that 7 people died in separate shootings across Indianapolis this weekend, including a 2-year-old girl and 2 people along West 38th Street. A 12-year-old boy was one of them, and his 24-year-old brother. In each and every one of these cases, no arrests have been made. You may recall the case of baby Hope, an infant found stabbed to death in a trash can in Franklin back in '94. 30 years later, police are holding a press conference right now after 2 boys searching for aluminum cans discover the baby's body, and police are speaking about it. We'll have more on the news at 9:30. The state is asking for input on autism therapy for families. Here's Johnette Cruz.
The state of Indiana is seeking input on the future of autism therapy coverage under Medicaid. With costs of applied behavior analysis, or ABA, therapy rapidly increasing, Governor Mike Braun established a working group to find solutions. Indiana's Family and Social Administration has already implemented some limits on therapy hours, and families are urged to share their experiences. Listening sessions are scheduled for July 15th in Richmond and July 24th in Evansville. The working group's final recommendations are due by September 30th of this year. Details can be found at WIBC.com. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana public broadcast stations are complaining after they say they lost $3.5 million after state lawmakers cut funding in the latest budget. PBS Michiana, WNIT, is taking a $400,000 hit, says management. While no jobs are being cut, station leaders say the 10% loss came without warning. The Indiana Pacers have the Chicago Bulls tonight in the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. Johnny Murphy, or Furphy rather, says he's embracing the moment as he gets more playing time.
I think I'm very far away from where I will be in a few years' time, so I just got to keep working. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about where I can get to.
Yeah, his name's definitely Johnny Furphy. The Pacers coming off a loss to OKC on Saturday. Tip-off at 6 Eastern. Now with traffic, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Ryan, looking at eastbound 465 on the south side, and we do have a crash about a mile before 31 at Bluff Road. It's on the shoulder, on the right shoulder. In fact, no delay. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Trust employee owned. B-Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to be.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For today, partly cloudy skies. There is an isolated chance of a downpour south of I-70 through the afternoon and evening hours. High temperatures getting into the mid-80s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall Casey starts right now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So this is how we begin on a Monday. I would like to remind you about Indiana's hands-free law. It was enacted July 1st, 2020. It prohibits drivers from holding or using a cell phone while they're operating a vehicle. So I really hope that you have pulled over. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. My name is Casey Daniels. Rob Kendall joins us via his cell phone. What's going on with you?
So my kid had her 2-year checkup this morning, and we decided risking me losing one segment on a telephone was way better than not having me for the whole show. So I'm literally, Casey, as we speak, I'm pulling into our parking garage. So if I lose you, I will be there in 2 minutes.
You know what's going to happen. You're going to be fine in the garage, but then as soon as you hit the elevator, that's where we're going to lose you. So the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that a child sees their pediatrician 6 to 8 weeks prior to the start of a sports season. I'm curious, is she beginning sports at 2 years old?
The sport was not destroying the doctor, and she was very well behaved.
That's good. Everything went okay?
Perfect.
There
he went into the garage.
Has risen to the occasion.
Well, there we go, Rob Kendall. You're cutting out just like we knew you would. He's down. He's gone down below underground.
Casey, you can handle it.
I am going to handle it. So let's see. We talked about the Indiana hands-free law. You're not allowed to talk in your smartphone or your tablet or any device while you're driving. And, of course, the goal for that was to reduce distracted driving and improve road safety. So we'll let him park, ride the up, and then he'll be here for the next segment. But there's also I saw this article in preparation because I knew that Rob was taking his daughter to the doctor's office, and it talks about health insurance and state-by-state breakdown. Of course, premiums rising across the country, squeezing your wallet. Wallet Hub, they did a study, they crunched the numbers, and they compared average monthly premiums, and they determined the top states that are spending the most on health insurance, and Vermont took the crown, over $1,200 a month in premiums. I was surprised to see that West Virginia was close behind. Their premiums went up 19%, and Alaska, rounding out the top three, 14% of your income in Alaska goes towards premiums. I've heard the number $30,000 being kicked around. Like, that's how much you spend on insurance. And boy, that just seems a lot. It just does show you how important having a position that offers health insurance is, because it just seems to be costing more and more. Of course, the FDA, they just got full approval for Moderna's Spikevax. This for kids ages 6 months to 11 years old. But it's supposed to be only for those that are have an increased risk of getting COVID-19. Moderna planning to roll out an updated version of the vaccine this year. Of course, the health secretary, Robert Kennedy Jr., he says the U.S. has stopped recommending routine COVID vaccines for healthy children and pregnant people, but the CDC disagreeing. RFK Jr. being sued by some major medical groups who claim his policies are a threat to public health. And 17 members of the CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee were also let go. Look at you. You sprinted up the stairs. I can't believe it. Are you out of breath?
I take this job very seriously.
Wow.
Look at this health, Casey.
You got a haircut, too. You've had a busy weekend.
Yes, for me, it was a very busy weekend.
You've got a lot going on there.
I was going to do my dad joke where you mentioned the haircut, where I said, oh, they did such a good job on the first one. I told them to keep going.
Right? Yeah, there
Hey-o.
you go. Hey, okay, so you're here. Everything's good with the kid.
Yeah.
No issues.
Yeah, she was very well behaved. That's always at this age. It's like playing a giant game of Russian roulette on what sort of behavior you're going to get from your kid when they're confined in a relatively small space for an hour. And she was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was a lucky day.
Okay, so what happens it was the 2-year-old checkup.
That's right.
It's been 21 plus years for me. What happens at the 2-year-old checkup?
The doctor
Weight,
comes
height?
in. Yeah, height, weight, lots of interrogation, making sure you're fit to command another human life.
Mm-hmm.
They look in the ears, eyes, throat. They do some sort of lead test.
Oh, okay.
So they prick their foot.
Yeah.
And then they test that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that right away.
Make sure there's no lead paint in your house.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is, but they say they got to have it. So sounds...
Were you did you have to determine about any vaccines in this visit? Is that
No,
that wasn't on the docket?
There's nothing on the schedule, so no. I mean, it was pretty straightforward, other than you're commanding a tiny tyrant for an hour. I mean, that's really...
The hardest part of the trip was entertaining the 2-year-old.
I mean, I was not going to do that to my wife. First of all, I take a very active role in my child's life, and these are things that are important to me. But I was also not going to have my wife try to command her because, by the time you leave the house, you got to get there, you got to check in, you got to go in. Obviously, there's delays in between when the nurses and the doctor. And so we made a choice. You and I talked about this last week. I said, okay, I will probably miss part of the first segment. However, is it worth it for me to miss the entire show and take a day off, or just run the risk of
running a few minutes late?
Yeah, discombobulated first segment. Now, thanks to the enhanced speed limit on 465.
Yeah. How fast did you really go? Within
with the flow of traffic.
Oh, okay. I was keeping up with traffic.
I was able to make it from the interstate, the 474 interstate, to downtown in about 20 minutes.
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
There's also much less traffic at 8:45.
Later in the day? Later in the morning?
Than there is
when you normally get
at
here.
7:30. I'm just going to start coming now. That's much easier.
That's interesting because when I come in on Washington, the later I leave, the more traffic there is.
We were talking I was talking with somebody over the weekend who has kids, and their kids are a couple of years older than Livy. They have one that's quite a bit older than Livy, but they have one that is closer. And they were saying, like, you don't know, and you get this, right? You don't know all that's involved in parenting and how utterly exhausting parenting is. Because here's what else happened this weekend, Casey.
Yeah.
My kid figured out how to escape the crib.
Oh, it's a time for a big girl bed.
It's a new frontier.
Yeah.
I put her down for a nap, and the next thing I hear, there's a knock at the door. And
she climb over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Without with evading injury. I mean, which means she plotted in her mind, because you would think if you didn't know what you were doing, you would. I mean, my kid is wicked smart. Okay, and this is really scary because
would you expect anything less?
She has my personality, and so we put her down for a nap.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. The next thing I hear.
Wow.
And
what did you think? Did you know it was her?
Well, I would assume, unless somebody broke into my house.
Well, were you nervous?
No,
who
not
is
in the middle of the day on a Sunday.
Okay.
So now that's a new frontier.
Yeah.
So any suggestions on, other than barbed wire, how to keep your kid inside the confined space, open to that.
I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
We've scoured the internet. We have a few ideas, a few booby traps, a few landmines.
Yeah, you're just going to have to make sure that the house is child-proofed everywhere.
Yeah, so, but they were saying that you don't realize how exhausting parenting is, and you have to experience it before you know. You have to physically
People
go
can
through
tell
it.
you, but you don't know until you live it.
Like, and I don't know if your kid was this way, but my kid has like a second battery. It's as though his one battery will die, and there's a window to get her either to nap or to sleep within the window of when the first battery dies, and then she figures out there's a second battery that's about to take hold. So I got about a 20-minute window.
Right.
And then once the second battery kicks in...
Yeah, she rallies.
It's another 2 to 3 hours of hell on earth.
She's ready to go.
You got to make it work.
The same thing happens with me. All right, we're going to let you get situated, and then we get you caught up on everything that's going on. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Historic flooding.
This is a 100-year catastrophe.
Lives shattered.
Dedicated, searching for every single one of the children.
It's horrible. I have grandchildren that I couldn't imagine them flowing down a river.
Support Texas flood relief efforts by going to SALArmyEDS.org. Whatever you can spare will help.
It is undescribable and catastrophic.
From 93.
This is a national emergency.
WIBC.
Beth, you're in charge of ordering the tacos for the meeting today, yeah?
I'm not going to order the tacos.
What?
I'm going to Easy Cater the tacos. With Easy Cater, you can order from a huge variety of restaurants, track expenses, and save time.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you're emailing the meeting notes, right?
No, I'm going to easy mail them. Where's my music?
Sorry, Ben. There's no Easy Cater for that.
Easy Cater, the easy way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct, and boy howdy, what an incredible deal they've got going on right now. Because the great thing about this deal is you have not one, but two options on an incredible way to save money. So listen to this. Right now, you can have brand new windows in your home with payments as low as $99 a month. That's right, brand new windows throughout your house, $99 a month. And if that isn't good enough for you, listen to this. 12 months, no interest, no payments. That's right, one whole year. Brand new windows, your house with no interest and no payments. Choice is yours. Now, some restrictions may apply. So to get all the information and schedule a totally free in-home, no hassle, no obligation estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today. 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574, or check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Did you know up to 50% of outdoor water use is wasted? And did you know that there are things you can do to help change that? Indiana American Water suggests that you water early or late in the day to reduce evaporation. Also, be sure to fix any leaks and skip watering when rain is in the forecast. Consider rain barrels, mulch your garden, and use drip irrigation for your plants. Be water wise. Conserve today, sustain tomorrow. Find more conservation tips at Indiana American Water's Wise Water Use Resources at indianaamwater.com.
The Hendricks County 4-H Fair is back July 13th through the 19th in Danville. A state fair experience at county fair prices. Catch all the action with the truck and tractor pull, lawn and garden tractor pull, the championship rodeo, and the always wild demolition derby. Plus rides, games, and more at the Greatest Midway, brought to you by Drew Expositions. Get your discount tickets now at 4hcomplex.org. The Hendricks County 4-H Fair, July 13th through 19th. A state fair experience at county fair prices.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning. Jim Scott is the owner, and he says they stand behind their work just like American Standard stands behind their equipment.
We give everybody a 3-year labor warranty, and then the manufacturer gives 10 years. So, yeah, people are pretty well set.
If you're in Clinton, Boone, or Hamilton County, call Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning, 765-601-1461. Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
Hey, the Johnson County Fair is going on now. Join us, Hammer and Nigel, at the Farm Bureau building at the Johnson County Fair this Thursday.
Have one of their famous milkshakes and stick around for the rodeo that starts at 7 o'clock. That's this Thursday, 3 to 7 at the Johnson County Fair with Hammer and Nigel.
I can take you home.
So did you see this? The chief of police, who seems like a pretty decent guy here in Indianapolis. I think Chris Bailey is his name.
Yeah.
He put this video out before the weekend's festivities, shall we say, which were, well, not quite as bad, very similar to the previous weekend's festivities, in which some of our fine local youth decided to answer your favorite game show that you play from your Indianapolis abode.
Gunshot or firework?
With gunshot. And he put this video out where he's basically like begging the criminals not to criminal?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was urging peace ahead of the weekend, and this on the heels of all of the violence that's been happening, especially what happened on the 4th of July weekend that went down near Monument Circle, killed 2 teenagers, injured 5 others. And he was calling on parents, guardians, and mentors to speak with kids and promote peace.
All right. Do we have the audio of this?
We have the audio of Rick Snyder, who had the message. This is not Chris Bailey.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about what happened then. You have the stats of the weekend, right? From the Crime Inc., or at least through Saturday.
Well, Rick Snyder put out, and he said that 50 people have been shot or stabbed, with 15 killed in the past 2 weeks in Indy.
What's the number again? Can you just reiterate?
50 shot or stabbed, with 15 killed in the past 2 weeks in Indy.
And so you've got the chief of police, who again seems like a decent enough guy, basically begging for parents to do their job and for these criminals, these local youth in many cases, to not do the thing that's in their DNA. Buddy, that's not going to cut it. Okay, these are hyper dangerous people who have basically no semblance of institutional control in their life. There are no parents. There are no parents for you to beg to watch the kids.
Well, and in some cases, the parents are actually dropping them off downtown. That was according to Chris Bailey. He said that he would see the children get out of the cars and being dropped off.
You know, it goes back to, so we obviously opened the show with me being late because of my kid's doctor's appointment. Like, I didn't have to go today. I want to, because as a parent, I want to be involved in every important facet of my kid's life. I want to be involved in there is no such thing as an unimportant facet, but in everything, I want to be involved, because that's what should be in your DNA as a parent, is that I helped bring this person life, and until I draw my last breath, I will be engaged with them in some capacity, seeing that they have the mentorship, the guidance, the ability to have every advantage possible to have a better life than I had. That's the way you should be wired as a parent. And yet, so many of these kids, in many cases that we're talking about, young people, whether they're technically juveniles or not, these people who have brought them into this world, you have to ask the question, why did you do that? Because you don't seem to have any sense of wanting to take responsibility for these people.
Right. He stressed that active, consistent parenting can prevent some of these dangerous situations that are happening downtown.
But it's not happening. And he's got to accept, the mayor's got to accept, the prosecutor, Ryan Mears has got to accept, a judicial system as a collective has got to accept. These people do not have that. You have to start knocking heads, dude, because these guys are not getting the memo. What you're asking to happen is not happening. These peace interveners, or whatever they're called, that certainly hasn't worked. You know what these dudes understand? Force, incarceration. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound callous saying that, but that's the reality of it.
Well, and I think the parents might understand a fine. Now, the city county council, they're discussing that stricter curfew in Marion County, but unless it affects the parents who are letting them run wild in the streets, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, you hit on a great point, which is you have to, like, you're going to do what to these kids? I mean, I'm saying before they've acted in a violent, dangerous manner, which clearly many of them have the propensity to do. You're going to do what? Give them a trip to the county correctional facility for a little bit and then let them out? Well, what sort of punishment is that? You're right, but can you, and this is the broader question, can you force people who clearly do not want to do the most basic level of parenting, can you force them into doing that? Because there's a good chance if you fine them, a bunch of these people,
they won't pay it anyway.
They won't pay it anyway.
Sure. They'll just keep on going.
Do we have the Rick Snyder audio?
Yeah, we do. Here he is with a message.
Hey, Indy, Rick Snyder here, president of the Indianapolis FOP, coming to you from the Indianapolis Zoo in downtown Indianapolis. Listen, we've had a lot of talk lately about the crime, the violence, the concerns about safety throughout our city, but also including our downtown here in Indianapolis. But it's important that we make clear that one of the ways that you can help us, your law enforcement officers who are continuing to stand the line here and fight for your safety, is to get out and live your life. Speak up, step out, stand with us, but also make clear to those who would do evil in our community that they don't control our destiny. They don't control the spirit of our city. It's we, the people, that do that. So come on out, enjoy your downtown, enjoy all this city has to offer. When you see your uniformed police officers out and about, stand in line for you, stop and say thank you. But also share the word. Tell other people throughout the community that Indy is worth fighting for. We'll see you soon.
So his message is that Indy is worth fighting for. And Friday, when we got off the air, I met the dude out for lunch, and I just walked 2 blocks over to a restaurant. On my way back, I was walking alone back to get my car. Within 2 blocks, I was approached by 2 different, I'll call them vagrants here in this city.
Sure.
Asking for handouts or money or whatever. And when you don't feel safe, just walking 2 blocks, how are you going to enjoy all that the city has to offer?
So there was a Fever game yesterday. I know that because my dear friend Ben Verbanek, the most beautiful man in Terre Haute television, and myself, we decided to have a little get-together yesterday afternoon at a high profile downtown beverage establishment. And we were talking about this, about the idea of when we were talking about when we're going to meet this week, and he had some stuff going on, and he could meet various days, but he couldn't meet until Saturday evening. And I was like, I'm just done.
Right.
I'm done being in Indianapolis downtown at night. It's just not.
Sun goes down, you're not going to be around here.
No, but you're right. Even with the trip, which would account to a couple of city blocks, there was somebody now this person wasn't hyper aggressive. But it's like, you can't, it's a culture. You're right, Casey. It's not just the violence, like the direct loss of life, injure you, violent people. It's the homeless people who you don't know what's going on with them. It's the drugged out zombie guy who you're just trying to get away from that person as fast as you possibly can. It's the guy who comes from out of nowhere who starts pestering you for money. Like, it's a culture down here.
Right.
And collectively, the mayor, the prosecutor, the judicial system doesn't want to deal with it, and thus this stuff keeps happening.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text Rocky to 369-369. That's ROCKY to 369-369. Rocky to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Summer's in full swing, so come get that hot summer deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, plus 0% for 72 months. Or lease a new 2025 Lincoln Corsair for just $499 per month at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP $110,425. Corsair MSRP $53,915. $3,500 due at lease signing. 0 security deposit. 36 months. 10,500 miles per year. Offers good through 7/31/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. Destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, August 2nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They say there's partial closure, but still no arrests have been made. Your radar is clear. It's 70 degrees in downtown Indianapolis, going up to 85. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:31.
We are honored to announce that the Franklin Police Department has successfully identified the parents of Baby Hope, whose lifeless body was tragically discovered 31 years ago on April 13th, 1994.
And that is Franklin Police Chief Kirby Cochran speaking at a news conference minutes ago.
Cheryl Dawn Larson, born in 1963, was confirmed as Baby Hope's biological mother.
And the only problem is that she died about 5 years ago. Now, police say we're not sure if we'll ever know who murdered Baby Hope, who was found in a trash can by some teenagers who were looking for aluminum cans in '94. The parents of a 5-year-old found out the hard way that you should never leave your phone unattended, especially around tiny fingers with big spending power.
In a viral TikTok video posted by the boy's mom, a stunned dad is seen confronting his son, who casually ordered 7 toy cars from Amazon, spending over $3,000 with another $700 in the cart before being caught. The clip then cuts to the Amazon order that reads like a little kid's Christmas list to Santa, prompting one commenter to remark, "He took Christmas in July to a whole new level." The parents were said to be in the process of explaining to the bank and to Amazon what happened and looking for a full return of the items purchased. Experts say kids racking up charges through apps and online shopping is becoming more common and also more costly. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All 3 major indices are down this morning. The Dow is down 119 to 44,371.51. The S&P is down 15 1/4 to 6259.75. And the NASDAQ is down 50.5 to 22,786. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
A well-maintained garage is the key to a safe, organized home. Hey, good morning, it's Casey. But without proper protection, the floor of your garage can quickly become worn and unraveled over time due to wear and tear, spills, and other environmental factors. Well, that's why Galaxy Concrete Coatings is here to help. Call them in Fishers at 317-751-9070 for indoor and outdoor concrete. For your driveway, pool deck coating, patio, your garage, it's UV and yellow resistant and less hotter than regular concrete. Call them today or find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
They do more than just roofing. They believe in honoring those who've served. Kingdom Roofing Systems proudly participates in the Roof Deployment Project, which provides a brand new roof to a deserving U.S. veteran or active duty service member, absolutely free. You can help give back to those who have given so much. If you or someone you know has served, owns their home, and is in need of a new roof, apply today at kingdomroofingsystems.com/RDP. Kingdom Roofing Systems, building roofs, honoring heroes.
There's something timeless about radio. It's where stories are told, ideas are shared, and communities stay connected. Our generation grew up with it, and we still believe in the power of tuning in. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe planning for retirement should feel just as familiar and trusted. That's why we're bringing real conversations and practical advice to the airwaves. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. for our Retire with Purpose Radio Hour, right here on 93.1 WIBC. We'll talk about what really matters in retirement, income you can count on, choices you can feel good about, and a future that reflects your values. Because some things, like good planning and good radio, never go out of style. Howard Bailey Financial, retirement planning that speaks your language. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com. The Retire with Purpose Radio Hour is a paid placement on each airing station.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Okay, I have a question about something that took place over the weekend.
Okay.
And I was floored by this. But you have a lot more experience in parenting than I do. So I'm going to ask you your thoughts on this. All right,
okay.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So I mentioned yesterday, my dear friend Ben Verbanek, who does television over in Terre Haute, and I decided to get together downtown for a little bit in the broad daylight, right?
Yeah.
To make it the safest,
right?
Like statistically the safest excursion possible in the greater downtown area. And we decided to do it this week because the WNBA All-Star stuff is next weekend, right?
Coming up.
And I freely admit, call me an ist or whatever, I'm not up to date on the Fever schedule like I should be. They had a game yesterday.
They did.
And as we were heading towards our destination, walking in the greater downtown area, the people were filing out of the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
They played a ball game yesterday, and as my understanding, they won, and everybody had a great time, and I think that's great. What I was amazed at was, and we were commenting on, is how many people it was them and their kid,
right,
or kids, plural. And so Ben and I got in a spirited discussion about how much, because I had not, remember last year when we were talking about the tickets to the Fever game and how much they were. And we were discussing last year at the time, how long will this be sustained given the newness of Caitlin Clark will wear off. Now, the team they were playing yesterday, the number one pick was on that team. She's a pretty high-profile player. So this was, a bigger game, whatever. But I saw all these kids with their parents, and Ben and I were talking about, surely the prices of tickets must have come down.
No, I don't think so.
Because there's all these kids with their parents, and there's no way the several $100s a ticket or whatever you'd be paying to take your kid to sit in the nosebleeds. So
yes, they would.
We make it to our destination, and these people sit down next to us. There's a brother and sister who had been to the game, and so we start shooting the breeze with them. And I said, well, like, what did the tickets cost? And they have to come down in price because we see all these kids with their parents. And they said, oh, no. Like, we checked yesterday for a certain game, or a week ago for a certain game, or whatever, and it was on the third-party ticket market for the tippy-top seats, still multiple hundreds of dollars to go to the game. And I said, somebody is paying that for their kid to go to a basketball game and sit at the top?
I have a friend in South Bend who brought his, I think he's 11, his 11-year-old son down to go to a game, and they were so excited. They were going to go to a Fever game, see Caitlin Clark play, and then it was one of the games that Caitlin wasn't playing. They still had a great time, but I know that they were a little bummed she wasn't actually in the game.
Well, we had this, that's funny you said that, because we had this conversation with them. I said, you have to be very careful buying on the third party market, because with her propensity to not play, I'm not saying it's her fault, clearly she's been injured, but I'm saying because they said the prices on the third party market when she was in that prolonged I'm not going to play, like, plummeted. You could get them much cheaper. So clearly her effect is still in full swing.
Absolutely.
Based on the what sounded like readily available and much lower prices when it was determined she wasn't going to be playing. But you really got to wait till almost day of to gobble those tickets up.
Right, because like my friend who purchased his tickets well in advance, it just happened to be one of the games she wasn't playing. And Caitlin Clark, the fastest WNBA player to reach 200 points and 100 assists in a single season, a new record that she's breaking. And parents will pay that kind of money.
That's amazing to me.
Well, think about last summer. Was it last summer? When Taylor Swift was here? How much parents were paying for those tickets.
And what did we say about that? Okay, so what is the most you've ever paid for your kid to do, like, an individual event? I'm not talking like, okay, your kid plays softball or baseball and you buy them a nice glove. Well, they're going to use that for years.
Well, youth sports, that can be a really expensive proposition because you're paying the dues for the team.
That's totally out of control,
and
too.
then the equipment, and then if it's travel and the parents want to go, you're paying hotel rooms.
You know who we need to have on to talk about this is Phil Sanchez, because his kid is a travel baseball guy.
Yeah, right.
And to me, that we go to other states, the blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, that's...
I did that in soccer and lacrosse for years.
That's crazy.
Since
There's
my daughter
no competition here?
She was 5, Rob, when it started. You've got like 3 years until this begins for you.
No, I don't.
If your daughter's going to play youth sports.
No, she's going to play youth sports, but there have to be local youth leagues where, like, you play the kids that are in your community.
Yeah, but by the time they're 9 or 10, that's when they start traveling.
I don't have to?
No, you don't have to. It'll be more of a rec league than...
Well, okay, but why? This is my... Then we're getting derailed off the point of the conversation.
Right.
But why on this? Do you know Jake Cray was talking about this several weeks ago, and he was absolutely right. He said the quiet part out loud. Of the kids on your travel baseball team when you're 10, that you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on.
The chance of any of them going to a D1 school is very low. But
minuscule.
people buy into the dream. Now, I will say, I think, my daughter's high school soccer team might have been the exception to that because they did have 4 girls on that team who went D1. They were the state champs that year in Indiana, Penn High School.
Yeah.
But that's not typical.
Did your daughter get a medal? Does she get a... when you win the state championship?
Oh yeah, they had a big trophy they all shared.
But I mean, she's very humble. If I were her, because she used to work in this building, I would have been wearing that when I came to work each day.
Wearing one of the medals.
And I would answer everything.
Sure.
What do I know? I'm just a state champion.
But what does it do for you if you're not going to play? I think a lot of times by the time those kids actually get to the college level, they're either burnt out or they just don't want to do it. I mean, that's what happened with my daughter. She was offered to play lacrosse at a school, and she was like, I cannot do it anymore. But the most I've ever spent on a single item, do birthdays count? Do parties count?
But that involves lots of people, though. Like, okay, I think I did my kid's second birthday, all in, food, everything. And there were like, what? You were there, 20 people.
Sure.
I did that for under $200.
Yeah.
Because I'm very, and it was not like some hobo event, right? I mean, it was, you got to know how to shop around. No, because that's a lot of people. I'm saying like a single event. Have you ever bought her a ticket to something? Any event? Like, I'm just floored that people would spend that.
Well, I know Jim took her to a Notre Dame game that was.
That counts.
What
was that?
He bought it.
You guys
it was a couple $100.
Yeah, I can't. It's on television.
Plus, they bought plane tickets to go.
Oh, well, that totally
hotel.
counts. Yeah, that totally counts.
But that was like, a nice bonding experience. Father-daughter, take a trip and, engage over Notre Dame football.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot.
And she's
of
a
money.
fan for life now.
I was floored at the amount of people who brought their kids to that event, and then when I found out what those tickets were, that is little kids.
I think you got to look beyond just the cost, because now anytime they talk to each other on the phone, they can talk about Notre Dame football and sports, because that was always a part of her youth growing up. That's their common, their common ground together now that she's older.
All right.
You want to talk about somebody else's daughter-in-law?
Let's get off what a bad parent I apparently am.
No, trust me. If your kid wants something, you'll move heaven and earth to make it happen for them within reason. You would always put them first, like you did today.
I think you're really underestimating how thrifty I actually am, Casey.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon, 3:06. The biggest stories in Indy. Guy Relford joins us, and nobody's going to have more fun.
It's summer in Indiana, and I'm betting the floors in your home are dirtier than the infield the day after the 500. I'm also guessing they probably appreciate a good cleaning. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and there is no better go-to resource for cleaning those floors than Zero-Res. They can handle virtually every surface in your home. Carpets, tile and grout, hardwood, laminate, stone, upholstery, rugs, and even your air ducts. Before we get any deeper into summer, you can get 3 rooms Zero-Resified and get 1 room free and $50 off air duct cleaning too. Zero-Res means zero residue, and it's in the water they use. The unique ZR water uses no soap, no harsh chemicals, and leaves no residue, just healthy, fresh surfaces. Zero-Res cleans our floors, and I'll tell you that it is simply amazing, and it works. But don't take my word for it. Just check out the 4,900 5-star Google reviews. Call now. Mention WIBC. When you get 3 rooms cleaned, you get 1 room for free and $50 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141 or ZeroResIndy.com.
Hey guys, home sales activity is good, not great. So many homes, if improperly marketed, are sitting on the market. Hiring the wrong sales agent will cost you time and money. Hire the expert who maximizes equity and sells fast. The expert realtor I recommend is my friend Mark Dietl. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Luke and Emma in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietl. We found the perfect piece of land to begin building our new dream home, but we needed to sell our old place at the right price to fund the dream. We hired the Mark Dietl team and got multiple offers in the first weekend, closed in 25 days, and they negotiated for us to stay while we completed our new place. Selling was stress-free and profitable with Mark Dietl. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market, just 20 minutes north of Carmel. We're proud to bring you the freshest produce farmed right here in Indiana and across the Midwest. And don't miss our home-style fried chicken, scratch-made bakery, and a deli packed with ready-to-go favorites. Got a sweet tooth? Check out a variety of old-fashioned candies, the kind that brings back sweet memories from your childhood. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about local freshness, friendly faces, and food that feels like home. Wilson Farm Market. That's Wilson Farm Market.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure. Dewy skin.
Terrific. Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
The Johnson County Fair is going on right now. Join Hammer and Nigel live Thursday, July 17th, 3 to 7 at the Farm Bureau Building. Grab a legendary milkshake, catch the rodeo at 7, and make it a night to remember.
You can only live one place.
True.
You can't.
But you can have multiple residences.
This happens quite a bit. Now, you're from somewhere. Like, I live somewhere, right? Yeah, you can have two homes. That's a problem.
Snowbirds.
But this has happened before, and now it's happening again, and this really annoys me, Casey.
Okay, so Republicans are pushing for Laura Trump to run for North Carolina's Senate seat. This after Senator Tom Tillis announced that he won't be seeking re-election in 2026.
Okay, so the first and obvious question would be, what qualification do you have, lady, other than you married into the Trump family? She's not even Trump by birth. She's Trump by marriage.
She's Donald Trump's daughter-in-law.
She did a very subpar job running the Republican Party.
She was the RNC co-chair.
Right. And then...
she a lawyer?
She's a grifter.
Okay.
That appears to be the profession, based on the fact that she can't decide where she lives. So remember, so a couple years ago, Richard Burr retired as a senator in North Carolina, and everybody was like, well, she has a house here. She should run here. And then she was like, I've thought about it and I don't want to do it. Okay, fine. Then the thing with the senator, Rubio, getting picked to be the Secretary of State. And they actually live in Florida, as Trump has confirmed in interviews. Donald Trump has confirmed in interviews. That family lives in Florida, right? I think their taxes, everything state, they live in Florida. And they were like, well, you live in Florida now. You should be considered for that seat. And she was like, no thanks. Now, people think DeSantis told her, you might as well tell people no thanks, because I'm about to tell you no thanks. And now, because Tillis has announced he's not running in North Carolina, people are like,
there's an opening.
You should run for Senate in North Carolina. This pisses me off to no end, because, lady, you live in Florida. You want to run for something in Florida? Fine, but you don't live in North Carolina.
It reminds me of when Hillary Clinton moved to New York.
Well, it's happened here.
Yeah.
When Dan Coates was a senator for years here in Indiana, and then he quit. Evan Bayh became the senator, took his seat, and then Evan Bayh read the tea leaves in 2010, I think. 2010, I think, was the year. Whatever the Tea Party wave year. I think it was 2010. And was like, I'm going to get my ass kicked. No, thank you. I'm calling it a day. Now, funny thing about Evan Bayh is that ended up happening, several years later, because he tried to come back and got beat by Todd Young in 2016. But... so then all of these people decide, well, this is a Republican year. We're all going to run. And Dan Coates is like, hey, I'm running for senator from Indiana. The problem was Dan Coates was on video after having moved to North Carolina saying how much he loved North Carolina and he couldn't wait to retire and spend his golden years in North Carolina. And then what do you know? Hey, I love Indiana again. This stuff happens all the time.
Okay. Now, the thing with Laura Trump that you need to consider, she was born and raised in North Carolina. So she's not a complete stranger to the state.
Are you really going to try to? Trump is on record saying as they are from Florida.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there, being devil's advocate. But I think what she has going for her is that her last name is Trump.
That's all she has
that's
going for
it, right?
That's it.
She's never run for office before.
And so my point on
People
all
are going to
this-
see Trump on ballot and go, yes.
Of course, she'll probably win. But the subserviency to the Trump name, it's not even subserviency to Donald Trump. That's weird enough. It's subserviency to the name. Like, if you live in that state, she doesn't live there. She doesn't live there. On her tax return, her home state, according to Trump, because he says that's where they live, says Florida on it. She was just under consideration for a Senate seat in Florida.
Right.
How could you possibly think, because part of being a senator is supposed to be that they know you, they represent you, they put you first. Does anybody believe that that woman, if she runs in North Carolina, is going to be putting the people of North Carolina first at every decision? Why is Tom Tillis in Trump's crosshairs? Because there was stuff in the big bullcrap bill that was going to be damaging to the people of North Carolina based on they've really invested in the green scam stuff, and they've put a bunch of money into that. Places like Charlotte, Raleigh have heavily invested in that. And he's like, I'm not going to screw my people over. What is the whole thing with the giveaway to Murkowski in Alaska?
Right.
She's representing her people. Give me as many freebies as I can get. Who does this lady represent? Is it the people of Florida or is it the people of North Carolina? There's going to be conflict.
Oh, I think she represents Trump.
Thank you.
Yeah, and with North Carolina remaining a swing state, it's going to be very important. She's going to be accused of being a carpetbagger if she does this.
But like you mentioned Hillary, we mentioned Dan Coates. This has happened.
Elizabeth Dole's another one that comes to mind.
There's a great example. Someone who actually represented the state of North Carolina in the U.S. Senate. She was a senator when I was down there. I remember that. And it's like, why would you vote for someone that is clearly using you? They are clearly, it's like when Evan Bayh tried to come back here and run. He couldn't even prove where he lived because most people knew he wasn't living in the state of Indiana. Oh, I have a house or a condo or a whatever. Oh, get out of here. Like, people, how could you vote for someone who you know is clearly using you just to get back into public office, and yet it happens all the time?
I think the strategists are just going to see Trump on the ballot. That's going to boost turnout, and therefore that's their best bet.
Of course, I'm not arguing why the connected people, I'm not arguing why the party would want it. I'm not arguing why the political class would want it. I'm saying as a voter, because conceivably she'd have to run through a primary and defeat other people who would also be vying for the seat.
Yeah, but the RNC chair said that they're all going to rally behind her. Of course they will.
Isn't that amazing that they're already making the proclamation? But look, you get what I'm saying? I'm saying as a voter, like, if you're going to the polls, why would you want someone who can't even declare they're from your state, they're from another state? Why would you say that's the best I can do as someone who is clearly just using me and my state to elevate themselves and move themselves in this case, it would be into political office, but oftentimes it's higher political office. I would never, you cannot fathom voting for someone who you know is just openly doing that. It's not even like they're hiding it.
If she does decide to run, you can bet that she's going to talk about how she grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. She did go to North Carolina State University, and all of that is going to be...
Pay your taxes here.
It's going to be front and center for her campaign.
Pay your taxes here, lady.
She did an interview with Donald Trump. Can you imagine interviewing your father-in-law, who's the president?
Do we have audio from that?
We do have audio
Maybe
from
we can play that later in the program, because I'm sure that's gold.
Really hard-hitting stuff. Well, they did talk about the one-year anniversary of the assassination attempt against him, which was yesterday.
Can we read the Trump truth or tweet or whatever it's called now on Epstein when we come back?
It's a long one. You have it in you?
I don't know if I can get through the whole thing, but that is crazy. Am I wrong? That's crazy what he said.
We'll talk about it coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
Looking for a cozy spot to relax, work, or grab your coffee to go? LC Coffee House in Noblesville, Indiana has you covered. Try our indulgent affogato, a sweet blend of espresso and ice cream. Or sample our coffee flights to discover your perfect brew. In a rush, our drive-thru is ready to serve you fast and fresh. Need a space to collaborate? We offer meeting rooms perfect for co-working. Whether you're grabbing a quick drink or spending the day with us, LC Coffee House is the place to be.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like the Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S., Z-Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available, or save up to $4,000. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Beth, you're in charge of ordering the tacos for the meeting today, yeah?
I'm not going to order the tacos.
What?
I'm going to Easy Cater the tacos. With Easy Cater, you can order from a huge variety of restaurants, track expenses, and save time.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you're emailing the meeting notes, right?
No, I'm going to easy mail them. Where's my music?
Sorry, Ben. There's no Easy Cater for that.
Easy Cater, the easy way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby says Mitsubishi mini splits are a great option for heating and cooling sunrooms, garages, basements, or that new home office.
The mini splits are great for places that we don't have a lot of room for duct work. We can hide them in the ceilings, integrate them into the walls, or even sometimes behind walls.
See what Kirby can do for you at KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
History returns with the Brickyard 400 at the famed 2.5-mile oval, celebrating NASCAR's roots at the racing capital of the world. Brickyard weekend starts Thursday, July 24th with the Indiana Sprint Week race, with sprint cars running on the IMS dirt track for the first time ever. Saturday, July 26th, get ready for action with the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250. Then Sunday, July 27th, the NASCAR Cup Series Brickyard 400, presented by PPG, returns to the oval of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Buy now and save at IMS.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Guys, fight back against low energy with TRT at Low T Center. TRT has never been easier with the new app powered by Synergen X Health.
Take the test, get the results, and control the treatment right from your phone. Book right now while the test is free. FixMyLowT.com.
The Attorney General's Office, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every week. Visit IndianaUnclaimed.gov or text Hammer and Nigel to 46220 today.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, what Franklin police are saying about a decades-old murder case involving a baby, what the Marion County coroner is saying about some of the shooting victims this weekend in Indianapolis, and what the Indianapolis City County Council plans to say to you on Wednesday. After Fox News, you're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It is 10 o'clock.
He's about to meet with the head of NATO. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The morning after President Trump told reporters the U.S. will be giving Ukraine more military aid to battle Russia.
They do need protection, but the European Union is paying for it. We're not paying anything for it, but we will send it. It'll be business for us, and we will send them Patriots, which they desperately need.
The Trump meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte comes as a special envoy is in Kyiv for talks with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who posted on Telegram, only force can stop Russia.
Ukraine's Zelensky says he met with General Keith Kellogg, President Trump's special envoy, and they talked about new U.S. help with air defenses and weapons from Europe. We separately know that the way that's going to work is that the U.S. will sell weapons to NATO, who will give them to Ukraine, and NATO will reimburse the U.S. for for those systems, including Patriot air defense batteries.
That's Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. A nightmare last night in Massachusetts. A fire broke out at an assisted living facility. Residents leaning out of windows, crying for help that did come for some.
The police department, fire department, and EMS were able to enact dozens of rescues to save multiple lives.
But Fall River Fire Chief Jeffrey Bacon says 9 people died. A few dozen others were injured. Despite more rain and more flooding, rescue teams back out in Texas looking for more than 100 people still unaccounted for from the July 4th flooding that hit Kerr County, killing at least 129 people.
They had to take breaks over the weekend due to intense rains creating more flood possibilities, putting those teams at risk. Lynn Bizzell is the fire chief in Fredericksburg, Texas.
It's a every minute discussion or every 15-minute discussion with them to make sure that we're not going to get a wall of water coming on top of it.
Rains also prompted more flooding in nearby Lampasas County, where the river rose more than 20 feet overnight Saturday into Sunday.
Well, that's Fox's Eben Brown. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The breakthrough that the Franklin police are talking about, your radar is clear. It's 71 degrees in the capital city, going up to 85 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02.
We got some cold cases here in Franklin, and this was one of them that we wanted to take care of, and we've done that. So I appreciate the work, the dedication that our Franklin Police Department has had. 31 years, and now we have a baby that's over here that has a name.
That is Franklin Mayor Steve Barnett speaking at a news conference last hour about a decades-old case involving a baby nicknamed Hope by the community. Franklin Police Chief Kirby Cochran.
The body of an unidentified newborn female infant was discovered in a trash can at Temple Park here in Franklin. The infant was found by 2 young juveniles who were searching for recyclables while walking home from school.
In this case goes back to 1994. Franklin police say they did identify the biological parents of baby Hope after 31 years. The mother, Cheryl Dawn Larson, died in 2018. That means investigators were not able to speak with her about the baby's death. The baby's biological father, Paul Shepard, work with police, but neither one of these people are considered suspects. So no resolution to the case, but the baby does have a name, and they've nicknamed it Hope Shepard. The Indianapolis City County Council will hold a public safety committee meeting on Wednesday to discuss what to do about a proposed law change that would have teenagers off the streets 2 hours earlier. Meanwhile, several people shot and killed this weekend across Indy, including a 2-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy. Indianapolis City County Councilor Keith Graves is calling claims of sexual and emotional abuse made by a woman named Lauren Embry false and alarming.
I didn't realize that I was in an abusive relationship until I was on suicide watch, and the chaplain told me.
And that's Embry sitting down with Wish TV. If you're going to be active outside when it's hot, do this to prevent heat-related illnesses. Jarrett Lewis.
Local physician assistant Megan Kaser is recommending a few things for those that'll be outside this summer, either exercising or practicing ahead of their sports season.
Infants, young children, those are particularly vulnerable groups to experiencing heat-related illness. And some of those symptoms that we want to watch out for are like unusual heavy sweating, muscle cramping, shortness of breath, dizziness, weakness, headaches.
Kaser said now's a good time for student athletes and kids to get their physicals too. It's preferred that a child sees their pediatrician 6 to 8 weeks before a sports season starts. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WYBC.
The Trump dismissal of Epstein is fascinating to me. What say you?
He's mentioning Epstein a lot in his tweet about not talking about Epstein. It's like, don't look at this. Don't look at this. Don't look at this.
Yeah.
It's right here. Don't look at this.
You know, we're going through this with one of our local friends that's not behaved as we wanted him to behave, where when you have either yourself or you have your orbit of people that just keep saying, Rob is irrelevant, Rob is a shock jock, Rob does this, Rob does that, you should blah, 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 and it's over and over and over and over. It's like you are giving life to the thing you're telling people to be totally dismissive of.
Exactly.
You are doing it.
Well, I think this all stemmed, you're talking about the truth post that Donald Trump put out over the weekend, because there was a lot going on at that Turning Point convention, and Megyn Kelly was just blasting Pam Bondi and calling on her to resign. And of course, you've seen all the talk on Twitter, people burning their MAGA hats. And I think Donald Trump was like, wait, my friends are turning on me.
But how could he not have thought people are going to be really upset about this? How could he not have thought this is going to be a really big deal if we come out and say there's nothing there related to Epstein? He knows he's said this stuff. I mean, they pulled out the video of him over the weekend at one of those events saying how much trouble Clinton was probably in because of Epstein. And obviously he has to know they did the binders and there's more to come and blah, blah, blah. And it's, what planet are you living on, Mr. President, where you wouldn't have thought people are going to be really upset about this?
I thought it was really interesting in the post. He said, why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration?
And that's where I think people are starting to get, boy, doesn't this sound familiar? When you start telling different stories, when things don't go your way, and you start telling different stories, and you come up with different excuses about what's going on with something that you know is obviously a big deal, and you know why it's a big deal. You know why it's a big deal. I saw this guy on there was an account on Twitter that kind of summed it up, and here's what that account had to say. We're releasing the Epstein files day one. There are no Epstein files. Here's video proof nothing happened. Okay, we had to edit it. There are no Epstein files. There are Epstein files, but the Democrats made them. Why do you care so much about the Epstein guy? What are files? I mean, it's the thing keeps moving.
Right. It does.
You and again, sound familiar? When you can't tell a consistent story. When you get approached about something that people clearly have reservations or are unsure about or have questions about, and you start telling different stories, and then when people are like, hey, man, you don't seem to be able to tell a coherent story on this. What's up with that? Well, you're a rotten person.
Well, it leaves room for everybody else to fill in the blanks.
Right. It is what you made, Mr. President, Epstein a story. You had every opportunity on the campaign trail to go, this is nothing. This guy was a rogue agent. He was a sicko. I'm glad he's dead, but there's nothing here. Let's all just move on about our business. He didn't do that. So you don't get to be mad at people now who are going, wait a second. You spent all of this time, and your people spent all of this time. If it was nothing, what was the binder release about?
Right. It clearly said Epstein files #1 on it. And Donald Trump says in all capital letters, let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. And then he said that her and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, they're going to be investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue. He mentioned the 2020 election, and he doesn't want them spending months and months looking into nothing.
You know, it's it's fascinating how Trump is trying to, it's really a form of gaslighting is what it is. He's trying to turn any person, again, sound familiar? Any person who is holding him to account. That's what's happening here. He's trying to hold, the people are trying to hold him to accountability for something he promised on the campaign trail, something he talked about on the campaign trail, something his appointed people talked about on the campaign trail. People who he appointed to the head of the FBI and the DOJ, who talked about and made promises to. And now they collectively are not living up to the promises that they put forth. Their word has been called into question based on the fact that they're not following through on what they promised. Now the story starts changing, and all of a sudden, they've turned into, according to Trump, let me just read part, selfish people. Again, Casey, sound familiar? How whenever you try to hold these politicians to account of words that they've said, on actions that they've taken, and all you're saying is, this doesn't make any sense, your words are in conflict with each other, the story does not add up, what's going on here? And somehow the people are like, this doesn't make sense, turn into the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. The one who asks questions like, hey, but you said this and now you're not doing it. Oh, don't bring attention to that. You're the bad guy for doing that.
No, I'm not going to do the voice. It's way too long. Man, this is so long.
It is very long.
He needs to really hit return a couple times to break it up. Like, why does he not do that?
Give us some spaces.
I mean, yeah, just like to break this up. And I'm not doing.
And the way he goes from all caps to not all caps.
Yeah, it's a very odd thing. All right,
quite the effort.
What's going on with my boys and in some cases gals? That's weird, right?
Well, he's talking about Pam Bondi.
Oh, okay.
What's going on with my boys? And
is that see?
Or he's talking about Megyn Kelly.
No, I think he's talking about people that are supportive of him, like his hardcore supporters. That's the way I took it. Which is a weird way to word that. They're going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's doing a fantastic job on what? What is she doing a fantastic job on? Clearly not this.
She looks great on Fox.
Yeah, I guess if that's the job, right? Is that like if you look good going to the Pizza King or the candy store, if you pose for photos nicely? We're on one team, Team MAGA. No, we're not. We're on Team Truth. I'm not on anybody's team. I'm on team, you work for us. You made promises. You haven't followed through. What is it? What is that? We're on Team MAGA. No, I'm on Team Taxpayer.
Well, I think he's trying to bring some of his irritated influencers back into the fold.
And I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration. What? You think you've handled your job, Mr. President, perfectly thus far? There's countless things that you haven't followed through on. There's countless things that aren't going well. There are certainly many things that are going fine. I think he's doing a great job with the border. I think his foreign policy is fine. But I won't think anybody looks at that big bullcrap bill and is like, that was handled perfectly. Everybody's very excited. Or
the day trading of the tariffs.
Yeah, I mean, the talk of the world. And selfish people are trying to hurt it all over one guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. No, we want to know how he died, Mr. President. We want to know what he did. He never dies because we don't get the full story.
Right.
It would all go away if you said, here is everything. Here's all we have. And thank you, we're done here. For years, it's Epstein over and over and over again. Why are we giving public publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell and more? The Epstein stuff started while you were president, sir. Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in 2019. You were president of the United States. And if it was a hoax or a lie or a whatever, then why didn't you say that? There's no video you're going to find of Trump saying, this guy, that's all a hoax, that's a lie, that didn't happen. He did the stuff.
He used the story to help get himself elected as well.
But then, like the Russia and this stuff, Epstein did these things. The island existed. The girls existed. People were flown there. We know that. Who was flown there, Mr. President? This is so insulting, not just to us, the public, but to these girls who went through this. It's incredibly insulting to them to be dismissive of what they went through. and to act like none of this ever happened or we just imagined all of it. It's professional gaslighting.
Well, and now you've got Maxwell saying that she wants to talk to Congress. And I just, does she have an ounce of credibility? Well, would you believe anything she says?
As you know, I recently did a long interview with a journalist who is working on a piece related to Indiana politics and government. And we were talking about this guy does a lot of national coverage, and he's based on the East Coast, and he's interviewed many high-profile people. He's covered the Trump administration, various other high-profile politicians for years, and we were talking about this, about how you properly vet sources. And here's what he told me, and I thought this was fascinating. He said, I interview crazy people all the time. Mm-hmm. He said, I interview criminals all the time. Mm-hmm. He said, what I found with them is, he said, about 20% of it's real. And he said, it's my job to go find what the 20% is real, because the 20% that's real is usually spectacular for a story. It just creates more work for me to try to figure out what it is.
You got to filter through.
But he said, even the criminals, 20% of what they say is spot on.
Mm-hmm. So you're thinking that if she were to speak in front of Congress, that you believe maybe 20% of what she says?
Well, I mean, look at the other people they run up in front of Congress. I mean, they let these politicians go speak all the time, and they're basically glorified mafia members. I mean, look at all the crap they pull on a regular basis.
Why does she want to talk now, though? She's had so many opportunities.
Well, I don't care. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm going to think that that's Mother Teresa up there telling me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help her God. But if 20% of it's real, it's more than we're getting from the President of the United States right now, or the Attorney General. Wouldn't you be interested
into what she has to say?
Wouldn't you watch?
I would listen, but I don't think I would believe most of it.
You're getting nothing right now from the people who are supposed to be telling the truth. If you get 20% of it that's proven to be real from her, that's 20% more than you're getting right now from the people who are like, there's nothing there, and this was all made up by Obama.
Right. Move on.
That is now the...
I got to believe that she would be in it for herself, though. Like, what is she trying to accomplish out of doing this?
Of course you know that.
She wants the truth to come out. Now, she was a recruiter for all of those people who got taken there.
But so was Sammy the Bull Gravano, and nobody revealed more about the mafia than Sammy the Bull Gravano. Of course, he was a dangerous, murderous lunatic, and a bunch of what he said is probably bull crap when he does interviews, but a bunch of it has been completely proven, and he took down the mafia.
Okay, so the other big story that was happening over the weekend, we've got to get to a break, but another story that was happening over the weekend was that Dan Bongino was done, and that Matt Gaetz was missing from the Turning Point USA thing. And everybody was saying, Pam Bondi's done, Matt Gaetz is in, and Donald Trump can appoint him for 90 days without him being confirmed.
People were actually believing that?
That's what was all over the internet all weekend long. And then Donald Trump came out, it was, I believe, yesterday evening when he was on his way back to the White House after the FIFA celebration. He said that he talked to Bongino.
I think so. I did. I spoke to him today. Dan Bongino, very good guy. I've known him a long time. I've done his show many times. And he sounded terrific, actually. No, I think he's in good shape.
He's not going to quit. Where's he going to go?
Right, because...
He already gave up the radio show.
Right, exactly.
It's not like people are going to clamor for him to have that back. The base hate him now because they think he's covering up Epstein. Hey, we have a new Dumbass of the Day award winner, and this is a really special one.
Okay.
Can we talk about that when we come back?
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the morning news. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Why do so many foundation, basement, and crawl space companies ask for half your money up front? Could it be because that's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they believe trust is earned, not demanded. That's why they do things differently. They start with a free inspection, no strings attached, to give you an honest assessment of what your home needs. No pressure, no surprises. When it's time for the work, they don't ask for a deposit or any upfront payment. Not a single dollar until the job is complete and you're 100% satisfied. That's how they've been earning trust for over 39 years. Whether it's sagging floors, moisture control, concrete repair, or a full crawl space encapsulation, you can count on Michaelis for repairs that last. Don't trust just anyone with your home. Choose the company that puts your trust first. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY today. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation, building trust beneath your feet.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
If you used to hear a whole lot of this, but now you can barely hear this, you need to check out RelayIndiana.com and the Caption Telephone. The Caption Telephone allows you to get your groove back when using the telephone. It uses voice recognition technology so you can read on a bright screen what the other caller is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com and add clarity back into your conversations with the Caption Telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
From storm damage to deep root care, Ingle Dial Tree experts keep your trees strong, safe, and beautiful. Call today or visit IngleDialTreeExperts.com.
Well, we have a new winner of the Dumbass of the Day Award here on the Kendall and Casey Show.
Do they know they're the winner? Should we send over a ribbon, a medal?
And actually, there are two who qualify, and I originally had already awarded it, but then somebody one-upped the guy who had already won the award. The award was going to go to Micah for bragging about spending $4,492.57 a house to have internet, and we'll get to that later. Yes, Kylan going, what could have topped that? But Greg Goode, senator from the Terre Haute area, had swooped in over the weekend and one-upped Micah bragging about spending $4,492.57 a house to have internet. So Greg Goode is a professional butt sniffer. He is Todd Young's right-hand guy, and he utilized that position into becoming an Indiana state senator. I believe he's also still Todd Young's right-hand guy. I mean, he gave the introduction to Todd Young at that Clay County Lincoln Day that I went to, where I had the infamous run-in with Diego.
Right.
And it was like one of those Politburo speeches, you know, where if you stop talking, you lose a vocal cord, you know, for Saddam Hussein or Stalin or one of those guys, where the praise of Todd Young that this guy had, it was like, is this Reagan that's arisen from the grave that's about to walk out here on this stage? So anyway, he's at some event, and Susie Jaworski, who is the energy secretary, is there. And it's, you know, thank you, Susie. And she came to the Terre Haute, some event in Terre Haute, and she's speaking about Indiana's immense energy opportunities. And Susie Jaworski, who, if you don't know, she did something with Trump. Then she came back and tried to run for State House and lost in the primary. And she is one of numerous election losers who Braun has put in a position of power and influence in our government, like getting to tell other people what to do. And my question has been for years, why do we keep appointing people who the voters have said your participation is not required? Like, you had your chance.
Yeah.
And the voters rejected whatever ideas you had. They said, thank you, no thank you. And then people, all these politicians go, I know, we'll put them in charge of everyone.
Right. You're a loser over here on the election, but where can we put you?
You lost at a local level, and your punishment for that is you get to be in charge of everyone.
Right.
So I saw this photo, and I retweeted it. And tell me if you think of this as any of this is inappropriate, Casey. I said 2 questions. 1, why is our government filled with losers who can't win elections? 2, how about an energy policy that stops forcing people to subsidize data centers? Seems like quite the, quote, energy opportunity. Does any of that seem, based on what's going on in our state? I mean, Jennifer Ruth Green, the guy Micah's got running Okra, this woman. I mean, it's just one election loser after another who gets to tell me what to do. It doesn't really seem fair to me that the people who can't win the elections get to be in charge of everyone. I thought that's why we had the elections.
Okay, so you mentioned the energy policy that stops forcing us to subsidize data centers. How about also stops forcing us to subsidize the SMRs?
Yes. Clearly, yes, you're right, because we're going to pay for them to Dr. Frankenstein to try to create all this power for the data centers.
See if it works.
Right. So does any of that seem like, oh, that's totally out of bounds? That's out of the mainstream?
No, I think you're good.
So his response to me, and these guys, nothing makes me happier than when somebody decides they're going to be Billy Badass on the internet, some politician. So he just responds, praying for you. Praying for me what? That I need prayer because I asked basic questions about my government and how it's operating and how it's run. Nobody forced you to post the picture, pal. Nobody forced you to say that this professional loser, the woman who lost her opportunity when her ideas were in front of the public, now gets to lord over people. Nobody forced you to say that. I didn't make you do that. You chose to do that.
Well, it's because he doesn't have an answer, especially about the energy policy. So instead of looking into it or getting on it with thinking, he said that.
Okay. And so my response to him, because, that's not going to go unnoticed, I just retweeted. You can see this at Rob M. Kendall if you'd like to. It's gotten very good response. I retweeted his praying for you. And I said, I pray you stop screwing the taxpayers at every turn and that at some point you'll remove your head from the middle of Todd Young's butt cheeks.
No response after that.
So that is my prayer for Greg Goode today, senator from the Terre Haute area, that he will stop screwing the taxpayers at every turn, and then at some point he will find the courage to remove his face from the middle of Todd Young's butt cheeks.
What does that prayer sound like?
Well, I don't want to.
Just that, exactly. I mean, you
got to go. You got to be direct in your prayers, Casey.
Yeah, you told me about this. He's praying for you. And I said, that's nice. I wish someone would pray for me.
I would love to know what he's praying for. Like what in that?
I mean, can he do both? Can he pray for you and come up with a better energy policy?
I mean, I always appreciate anyone's prayers, but they always say that because there's people all the time now who do this. Like, Rob really needs prayer. I'm pissed off at how the government behaves. I'm pissed off that the government lies to me.
Rob needs prayer and accountability.
I'm pissed off that people don't follow through. I'm pissed off at bull crap like this, where the utility bills go up all the time. We're clearly subsidizing mega corporations, many of them from other countries. I'm pissed off about all of that, and I'm the guy who needs prayer.
Is it too much to ask that you get prayer and a lower property tax bill?
So Greg Goode, Senator Terre Haute area, is our winner today of the. He has toppled Jim Lucas. Lucas now hands over the throne to Greg Goode until further notice. The winner of the Kendall and Casey Dumbass of the Day Award.
Congratulations! It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
You're listening to 93 WIBC. I'm Matt Bear. I'm excited to have a special guest joining us, Jeff Jr., the founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth.
What's up, Matt?
I hear your connection to Indiana runs pretty deep. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife used to live in Indiana, and my father and mother-in-law, they actually live in Kokomo. And my brother-in-law, he lives in Franklin. With so much family here, it was only natural to bring Trajan Wealth to greater Indiana and help all the Hoosiers plan for a better financial future.
I also know you and your wife served our country in the Marine Corps. Would you say the Marine Corps helped with the financial business you're in?
Unequivocally, yes. I completely credit the Marine Corps with most all of the intangible qualities, such as leadership, attitude, willingness to learn.
Trajan Wealth is a family-run, veteran-owned financial fiduciary. Call them today, 317-480-4040, 317-480-4040.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Hey, it's Matt Baer for Conklin Exteriors. Don't wait to beautify your home for summer for a fresh new look and increased home value. New siding by Conklin Exteriors is the answer. From James Hardy fiber cement siding to a big array of vinyl siding colors and styles, the experienced pros at Conklin have all the choices. Plus, a lifetime workmanship warranty and over 10,000 satisfied customers. For your free estimate, call Conklin Exteriors at 317-ROOFING or visit ConklinExteriors.com. Tell them I sent you.
Summer's in full swing, so come get that hot summer deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, plus 0% for 72 months. Or lease a new 2025 Lincoln Corsair for just $499 per month at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP $110,425. Corsair MSRP $53,915. $3,500 due at lease signing. 0 security deposit. 36 months. 10,500 miles per year. Offers good through 7/31/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A church service and 4 people shot. Your radar is clear. It's 71 degrees on Monument Circle, going up to 85 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 10:31. In Kentucky, after a man shot a state trooper, he moved in on a church and shot 4 people, killing 2 of them.
This all started when a Kentucky state trooper pulled over 47-year-old Guy House Sunday morning after his license plate had set off an alert. House then shot the state trooper, stole another vehicle, and took off across town to the Richmond Road Baptist Church. Witnesses tell the Lexington Herald he came in through the back door of the church and was looking for the mother of his children. And when he found out she wasn't there, House allegedly said, well, someone is going to have to die then. That's when he started shooting, killing 72-year-old Beverly Gum and her daughter, 34-year-old Christina Combs, and then injuring their husbands, one of whom is the longtime pastor of the church.
And that's Fox's Garrett Tenney reporting in New York.
Zohran Mamdani will be the downfall of New York City. This is the financial capital of the world. This is a city that was built on capitalism.
Representative from New York, Mike Lawler on Fox News.
Those buildings didn't rise because of socialism or communism or seizing the means of production, as Zohran recently called for.
And most polls say Mamdani is the favorite over incumbent Eric Adams. And President Trump says that he's spoken to Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino and expressed confidence in him despite recent internal fighting over the handling of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. Destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, August 2nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing.
I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminar Thursday, July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, August 2nd, Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Let's move. Okay, so there's something going on right now in central Indiana, and it is another example of how government can't run anything, and yet we keep letting them do more stuff.
So Citizens Energy Group has offered to buy Whitestown's water utility system for the low discount price of $37 million.
Okay, so many of you know Whitestown, right off Interstate 65, Boone County. It basically sprung up. Whitestown was a very, very, very small town for many, many years. There's actually an old Whitestown downtown. It's been several years since I've been there. There wasn't much left. I don't know if they've done any major renovations to it or whatever. But at one point, Whitestown, which is next to Zionsville, was essentially a blip on the map. And I'm simplifying a very complex thing over many decades. And then a commercial development grew up out of that called Anson, and that was a part of Whitestown. And then out of that, over the past 15 to 20 years, Whitestown, for people who, not just a grudge with Zionsville, but competition with Zionsville, has exploded in growth. And Whitestown and Zionsville have been in mass competition with each other, and there have been lawsuits and annexations and all sorts of things. And Whitestown is a perfect example of when growth just happens, and there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to much of it, and what they have now found themselves in. A great example of seeing how a community is run is how they run, operate, and charge their utilities. So, for example, in 4 years I was an elected official. Casey, would you like to guess how many utility rate increases took place?
Zero?
Zero, that's right. You want to know how many times over the past 25 years in the town of Warehouseburg that's happened? 4 years with the zero utility rate increases? One.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? Because when you run your government, by the way, we decreased property tax rates 18.5% in those 4 years too, and we did $50 million in infrastructure. If you know what the hell you're doing and how the funding systems work and how to be able to move money and blah blah blah, you never have to raise taxes. You shouldn't be raising utility rates. This is not rocket science. Good local government is want to and desire. Oh, and it's also knowledge. And in the case of what's going on with Whitestown is because they have had what I would call irresponsible growth and growth for the sake of growth, the public utility, and they have grown in a rapid fashion, which the public utility cannot keep up with the growth without massive public utility rate increases. My question on that has always been, if the growth doesn't pay for itself, and no one can ever answer these questions for me, if the growth doesn't pay for itself, why are you growing? If growth does not result in lower utility bills and lower property taxes, why would you ever grow? You're simply screwing the people that are there if the stuff you're doing and the growth you're making does not pay for itself. So, Whitestown, because they've lost control of their public utility, it is now at what they believe without this sale would be like $54.18 a month if you live in the town of Whitestown, or $67.47 if you live outside who happen to be hooked up. That's just the water, by the way. That's just the water side of the equation.
Right.
There's also another sewer side. So Citizens has come in and said, hey, we'd be interested in purchasing this for you because, and they're being very nice about how they're saying it, you suck at running this thing. And Citizens has offered them $37 million, and they are projecting, now this is why government shouldn't be in charge of anything, right? They have estimated a bill. Now, keep in mind, in Whitestown, $54.18 a month, $44.69 if Citizens took it over.
Yeah.
That's a $10 a month. That's $120 a year, Casey.
Yeah. So Citizens only going to operate the water utility, not the wastewater, not the sewer. So you would be getting two separate bills.
Yes. Now, the other side of this is, the downfall is, once you get the public, if you have competent people running things, which is a huge ask, right? You should have a vested interest in a government-owned utility because you have elected officials making the call. It should be a check and balance in which they shouldn't be in it to make profit. So you should theoretically, if you ran the thing properly, if you had competent people calling the shots who are running competently all levers and layers of government in the place in which you reside, You should have a layer of protection, which we're going through right now in the town in which I live. Last year, they tried to raise the rate. We got it voted down. This year, they tried to raise the rate again. We got it tabled. We're hoping to get it voted down because you have people who are accountable to the voters who are making the final call on whether to raise the price of the public utility or not, and they shouldn't be in it to make money. Whereas citizens, they're a profit machine. They exist to make money. However, in this case, the representation of Whitestown appears to be struggling with it to the point that even the profit machine
would do a better job.
Better a month than they are.
So if the Whitestown Council, they approve the sale, that means it goes to the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission.
That's right.
Because they also have to approve it. They've got some meetings coming up. But at the last public hearing, 9 people showed up, and they were asking, what's the motivation for the sale? What is the future billing process going to be and use of sale revenue?
Now, you shouldn't kid yourself. It's going to go up over time. Citizens exist to make money. That rate will go up. And there is a real danger when you sell a public utility to a for-profit entity that the rates will go up over time, will skyrocket over time. However, if your local government has no handle on it and must have trouble telling people no because the developments that they keep having there keep causing things to go up in price, this may indeed be your better option.
You know what happened 40 years ago yesterday?
I don't know what I was doing then, Casey.
July 13th, 1985.
Oh, no, what happened? You're not talking about something in my life.
No, it was the 40th anniversary of Live Aid.
Oh! Okay, so
the simultaneous concert that took place in Philadelphia and London.
This was it Geldof that did this? Bob Geldof, right? That was his name.
16 hours of live music.
He was a famous record producer. He created this concert. It was for Africa, right?
Yes, famine relief in Ethiopia.
Yeah, that's right. That's Africa, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And this became this larger than life thing in which most of the largest, the most high-profile musicians in the world at the various locations, London and Philadelphia, agreed to participate. It was, everybody who was anybody for the most part. It was Queen. It was, REO Speedwagon.
Led
Beach
Zeppelin
Boys.
reunited, Dire Straits, David Bowie.
Yeah, and it made $1 gajillion. Where did the money actually go?
Made $100 million.
Where did the money actually go? Because there still appears to be a problem with food in Africa. So what happened? Do we know?
No.
Seems to happen a lot with these things for a cause.
Are you saying that they did not solve the problem?
Well, I think there's still a problem with the food in Africa.
Yeah. There's more awareness, though.
There's
right?
awareness of a lack of food. However, there still appears to be a problem. Because I think isn't the issue... Bono talked about this at one point because he was into the mosquito nets, right? Remember his big thing? Was that the warlords or whatever they call them, the bad guys end up getting the stuff. You send the stuff with a noble cause, with a good intention. You send the stuff, and then the really bad actors in these foreign countries, they end up getting the stuff, and then the thing doesn't get resolved other than for them.
Yeah. Bob Geldof said that another Live Aid or anything like that, probably not possible.
I thought they did one for climate change.
They did one in 2005.
I remember Al Gore.
For global concerns.
Thank you. I remember Al Gore looking very heavy in a black T-shirt, and this was another thing where the polar bears were going to be floating down the Monon if we didn't do something within the next 7 hours, and here we are 20 years later.
Right, houses were going to be falling off of cliffs.
We're all still here.
Right.
They never seem to be able to target the date. Why is that with the climate change?
It is a moving date, right? So something like that probably not going to happen anytime soon. Couple reasons. One, fractured social media, right? You also have, you don't have this global culture like that where everybody's behind one thing anymore.
You also don't have enough musicians that people want to see.
Well, that's the other thing, the decline of rock music.
Okay, who would you, if you had a Live Aid today, Taylor Swift?
Right.
Who else would you even run out?
I mean, you'd put people like Beyonce on there, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
What rock bands would you?
I mean, that's my question.
Yeah.
it's still the same guys from the original Live Aid. Those that are still alive, those that are still with us.
It's the same one. So you were what, 1 when that
I was very young. I don't remember
young.
it. I don't have a firm grasp. Although I do have the Live Aid DVD, so I have seen all of the concerts in question.
I think it was $5 or $10. I sent money to it.
You sent money?
I did.
Did you ponder going?
No, I was never going to go. I was 15, but I did send money, and I got a patch.
Oh,
a Live Aid.
What, do you put it
patch.
on your jacket or something? Or?
Well, I put it on my bulletin board.
Oh yeah. Do you still have it?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's too bad. Is Hammer here today?
Collector's item. I believe he is. He's been very busy
That's
lately.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask him why they get to go to events and we don't get to go to anything.
You know what his answer is going to be, but we'll find out coming up from 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, what does it mean if the U.S. is going to arm Ukraine? Are we in this war now? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell, and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at Walmart Supercenters and Walmart Neighborhood Markets.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text Rocky to 369-369. That's ROCKY to 369-369. Rocky to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Hendricks County 4-H Fair is back July 13th through the 19th in Danville. A state fair experience at county fair prices. Catch all the action with the truck and tractor pull, lawn and garden tractor pull, the championship rodeo, and the always wild demolition derby. Plus rides, games, and more at the Greatest Midway, brought to you by Drew Expositions. Get your discount tickets now at 4hcomplex.org. The Hendricks County 4-H Fair, July 13th through 19th. A state fair experience at county fair prices.
Stay on your home court with Franciscan Health's top-rated cardiac heart care. No traveling, no waiting. Just award-winning heart care right where you live. Rated #1 in Indiana 2 years in a row for cardiology and cardiac care by health grades, Franciscan Health offers first-in-the-world treatments, cutting-edge technology, and unmatched compassion. Because we believe every heartbeat is extraordinary. Don't sit on the sidelines with heart trouble. Schedule a same-day cardiology appointment today at 317-893-1900.
History returns with the Brickyard 400 at the famed 2.5-mile oval, celebrating NASCAR's roots at the racing capital of the world. Brickyard weekend starts Thursday, July 24th with the Indiana Sprint Week race, with sprint cars running on the IMS dirt track for the first time ever. Saturday, July 26th, get ready for action with the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250. Then Sunday, July 27th, the NASCAR Cup Series Brickyard 400, presented by PPG, returns to the oval of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Buy now and save at IMS.com.
Talking on the phone is difficult if you've been exposed to loud noises over time. Combat veterans, factory workers, farmers, gun and motorcycle enthusiasts can have trouble hearing on the telephone. Relay Indiana helps return clarity to your phone conversations. A free service providing telecom accessibility, Relay Indiana allows hard of hearing users to have normal phone conversations through specially trained relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Get the caption telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit relayindiana.com now.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Life Church. Had a great time yesterday at the Eagle Creek campus, and that's one of the things we love about Life Church. No matter where you're at in central Indiana, Life Church is right near you. They've got campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus great online services. Life Church is warm. They're welcoming. They would love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. Learn about everything for yourself on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel all week long for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Earth, Wind, and Fire, July 23rd at Everwise Amphitheater. Details at 93 WIBC.
Oh, I thought that was just Hammer laughing.
Hello. How are you guys?
Jason Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel Show. You had quite a fun weekend with the trolls on the social media.
So, rough weekend for the lib friends that like to troll me, or there are some that I actually have, somewhat of an acquaintance with. Social media allows you to have people that you talk with, I guess, but not really see face to face.
You don't know.
Yeah. Don't know. There's a bunch of these people.
Sure.
So yesterday was the anniversary of the Trump assassination.
Yeah.
And I simply posted on my personal page, it's kind of wild that the two most high-profile shootings that I can think of, the Trump assassination attempt and the biggest mass shooting this country's ever seen, the Las Vegas Strip, where a lunatic's hanging out of a window in a city where everything is recorded.
That's right.
And we don't hardly know anything at all about these people.
Right.
Like any other shooting, we know what they had for breakfast. We know the last thing they tweeted. Sure. We have their,
if you're a
background.
If you're a J6 person, we know all that about those people.
Right.
Yeah.
But this little needle wiener that tried to shoot the president, Crooks, I believe was his last name, and the guy that was literally hanging out of the window at the Mandalay Bay shooting the Jason Aldean concert. We know so little about these things, and it seems like all these investigative reporters that I keep hearing so much about have no real interest in digging up the dirt.
And somebody's upset with you for pointing that out?
Well, what I saw yesterday, like this guy named Scott Brannon on my Facebook page, and I know who he is. He's one of these Ben Davis guys that has his glory days in high school, still wears the wrestling leather jacket, right? One of these little guys. Just a little guy.
Short king.
Was trying to make it sound like this was all faked by Donald Trump. Oh, this was a WWE style setup. He didn't get really shot. And there were other people too.
Wait. Trump faked the assassination.
Yes.
How does he do that? How does he fake getting
There is a
shot?
guy that died, right? Does he know that?
Well, and other folks started making that point. Like, dude, that's pretty disgusting. There was a dude that died. And just doubling down.
Yeah.
Which I thought was odd considering the libs are the folks that always point at you. You're a conspiracy theorist. How dare you not believe all the COVID mandates? You conspiracy theorist. But they're bending over backwards to say the assassination attempt was fake. Like it was something set up by Trump. Okay. So there was that I was dealing with yesterday. And somehow that spun off onto NPR's funding. To which I was like, look, just like I've always said with Planned Parenthood, they can exist. I just don't want to pay for it.
That's right.
Run it like a business.
Right.
Well, they get only 1% from taxes. Well, first of all, that's not really true. It's 1% from the federal government. Then the local affiliates, they tax a little bit and it comes into a different way. But if this were really the case, then why is there so much of an outcry?
That's right.
Why are all these closures happening? Right? If you're going to tell me so little tax money goes into these places, then why are they all closing down, and why is the big outcry happening right now?
Yeah, that's a fair point, because we exist. We provide news, community information, weather, sports. We do all the things that they're doing, and we do it without getting a yearly stipend from the federal government. What do we get? 1%? Do we get the matching amount? If not, why?
And then they were clapping back. What about your military parade? How much did that cost? Never said I liked the military parade, to be honest with you. But I really don't like places that are trying to put me out of work getting my tax dollars. So there was that all weekend long. Just a wild mess. I texted with Jeff Boggs. What % of each side, Republicans and Democrats, do you think are legitimately crazy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, is it 10%? Is it higher, lower?
Yeah.
I mean, not just you believe something or you could see something happening. I mean, legitimately, Trump faked the assassination attempt crazy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think the internet has made these people find each other, and it's amplified the way people used to behave.
Idiots like to have somebody else justify their idiotic takes.
Yeah. All right, what's coming up this afternoon?
Guy Relford will join us for Monday Gun Day, and we'll talk about this wild weekend in Indianapolis. Apparently, the peace tents didn't work.
Thanks, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like the Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S., Z-Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available, or save up to $4,000. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Fostech is the family-owned business that makes incredible firearms right here in Indiana. Fostech, created by 2 career firefighters and 1 U.S. Air Force veteran. They create special, unique firearms, American craftsmanship, meeting cutting-edge technology. Their Origin 12 shotgun is the envy of the industry, and all their products are designed, machined, assembled, and tested right here in Indiana. Visit Fostech to find a dealer near you, or follow Fostech on Facebook and Instagram at Fostech_Inc. Fostech, F-O-S-T-E-C-H, Fostech.com.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, the Johnson County Fair is going on now. Join us, Hammer and Nigel, at the Farm Bureau Building at the Johnson County Fair this Thursday.
Have one of their famous milkshakes and stick around for the rodeo that starts at 7 o'clock. That's this Thursday, 3 to 7 at the Johnson County Fair with Hammer and Nigel.
From storm damage to deep root care, Ingalldale Tree Experts keep your trees strong, safe, and beautiful. Call today or visit IngalldaleTreeExperts.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, Franklin Police announcing new developments in a 30-year-old criminal case this morning. Also, when this heat is going to ease up, and there are some changes to autism therapy that could be coming to Indiana. Those stories and more after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 11 o'clock.
NATO's leader is at the White House. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and Peter Ducey reports from there.
President Trump is in the Oval Office right now working on a 1-2 punch that could ultimately lead to the end of the Ukraine war once and for all. And the two components here are new weapons for Ukraine and new sanctions against Russia.
As for the military aid,
the plan is for NATO to be the middleman. The U.S. sends weapons for Ukraine to NATO, including Patriot air defense batteries, and then NATO reimburses the United States 100%.
European trade ministers are meeting today discussing how to deal with the U.S. after pausing retaliatory tariffs until next month. At the same time, a new 30% tariff President Trump plans for all imports from the EU and Mexico would take effect. The governor of Massachusetts is about to visit charred ruins as investigators try to figure out what happened and why.
There were 70 residents inside Gabriel House, an assisted living facility in Fall River, Massachusetts. When fire broke out Sunday night, rescuers arrived on scene with dozens of residents hanging out of windows and doorways, waiting to be saved.
Everybody was rescuing people.
Fall River Fire Chief Jeff Bacon.
That's Fox's Jeff Manasso. Some people could not be rescued, though. 9 were killed, 30 injured. We know more about the rampage in Lexington, Kentucky yesterday. Guy House, who was supposed to be in court today facing a domestic violence charge, started his attack at a traffic stop.
House then shot the state trooper, stole another vehicle, and took off across town to the Richmond Road Baptist Church. Witnesses tell the Lexington Herald he came in through the back door of the church and was looking for the mother of his children. And when he found out she wasn't there, House allegedly said, well, someone is going to have to die then. That's when he started shooting, killing 72-year-old Beverly Gum and her daughter, 34-year-old Christina Combs.
That's Fox's Garrett Tenney. House's rampage ended when police shot and killed him. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When and how long it's supposed to continue. Mostly sunny and 78 degrees in the Circle City right now. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. If you're wondering how long this heat will stick around in Indiana.
But it's going to be hot and humid for a while. I mean, you might see a little cooler next weekend, but we're not going to see anything substantially cool anytime soon.
Casey Crosby is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He says the best chances for storms this week are on Wednesday and Thursday. Franklin Police announcing new developments this morning in the 30-year-old case of an unidentified baby stabbed to death and left in a trash can.
The DNA technology is improved. This case now closes out all of our unidentified people in this county.
Johnson County Coroner Mike Pruitt says the baby has now been identified as Hope Shepard with the help of the biological father, but the work to find her killer is far from over. Changes to autism therapy could be coming to Indiana. Johnette Cruz explains.
Indiana families relying on vital autism therapy are watching closely as the state considers changes to Medicaid coverage. Applied behavior analysis, or ABA therapy, has become a cornerstone for many Hoosier children with autism. But as state Medicaid costs for ABA skyrocket from $120 million in 2019 to over $630 million last year, a state working group is tasked with finding ways to contain spending. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
$2.95 a gallon is the statewide average for gas today, says Gas Buddy, which is down 15 cents from where it was this time last week. In IndyCar on Sunday,
the Advanced Auto Parts checkered flag flies, and Alex Palou goes to victory lane. He wins the farm to finish 275. Scott Dixon finishes second. Marcus Armstrong is third.
The call on the IMS radio network with Mark Janes as Alex Palou picks up his 7th win of the season. This one coming at Iowa Speedway, and the series shifts to Toronto this upcoming weekend. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
You know that feeling of a fresh, clean home? This is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and Zero Res is celebrating National Carpet Cleaning Month with a great summer special.
Get 3 rooms zero resified and get 1 room free and $50 off air duct cleaning too. Just think about everything that's always left behind in and on your floors. Dirt, dust, allergens, pet dander, and stains. Vacuuming is just not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of carpet. Zero Res can clean virtually any surface in your home. And remember, Zero Res's patented ZR water cleans with no soaps, no residue, and no harsh chemicals. It's clean, safe, and effective. And that's why they have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 5,000 reviews. With the aftermath of graduation parties, summer barbecues, holidays, and family festivities, it really is time to call in the Zero Res pros to do the pit stop on your floors. Just call Zero Res, mention WIBC, and when you get 3 rooms zero resified, you'll get 1 room free and $50 off air duct cleaning too. ZeroResIndy.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Okay, I'm fascinated by what's going on in Missouri because the voters overwhelmingly said they wanted something.
Correct.
And then the government was like, that's cute. No thanks.
Yeah, the governor was like, nah.
This is super
We're not
interesting.
doing that.
Okay, so Missouri, so many states have what they call ballot measures in which citizens can get a certain amount of signatures and they can get items for the public at large to vote on. Indiana does not have this, but the states have the ability to recall politicians, these ballot measures, etc. Missouri is interesting because Missouri actually has 2 layers to their ballot initiatives. One is to make something a law, and then another is to put it in the Constitution.
Right.
There are signature thresholds that come with both of those. So the signature threshold associated with making something a law to get it voted on by the public is much lower
than a constitutional change. Yeah.
So last year they got enough signatures to put something on the ballot to be voted on for a law, which would have made sick leave mandatory, certain paid sick leave mandatory. And the public went and they voted on it, and 58% of the people approved the law. Well, obviously, a law can simply be undone, unlike a constitutional amendment, which requires all these hurdles. So basically, as soon as this thing got approved by the people of Missouri, which 58% is a pretty nice voter threshold. That's not like a razor-thin margin. That's a pretty good majority of people. The governor and the legislature were like, that's cute. We're going to go ahead and undo that.
Yeah, so the law, which took effect May 1st, allows workers to earn 1 hour of paid sick leave for every 30 hours worked. And they made it a state statute instead of a constitutional amendment like you're talking about.
Because it took less signatures to get it on the ballot. Okay, so what's fascinating to me, that's insane, by the way, that you get one. So basically for every
30 hours you work, you would get an hour of sick leave.
That's not paid. That's the key, right?
Yes.
So that's insane. Having owned a business, having run businesses, and now I'm a worker at a business. Yeah, great if you're a worker. Unmanageable if you're a small business trying to make sure that you keep the lights on.
Well, right, and a lot of paperwork to go along with it.
And that's basically what the governor and the legislature said is, yeah, that's nice you wanted that, but we're not going to put all of our small businesses out of business, and we're actually going to try to save you from yourself because they would have to fire a bunch of people, so you're out of here. But what's fascinating to me is that usually the politicians tend to move where the public is, and the fact that they so overwhelmingly voted for this thing for them to immediately undo it, that is very interesting.
Another part about this is the governor of Missouri, Mike Kehoe, he won the election with the same number that matched this proposition.
They were on the ballot at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, he won by 58%, and then this vote won by 58%. He got into office. He said, nah, we're not doing that.
Now the people who did the ballot initiative are super angry. And they're like, okay, well, we're just going to get enough signatures now to make it a constitutional amendment, and then good so-and-sos will be able to undo this. I'm totally fascinated with this because I see both sides of the equation. I see the politicians going, this is insane, and we're not going to put all these people out of business. However, but I'm also like, okay, the public had an opportunity, and you had an opportunity to make that case to the public, and they voted on it. And then there's the third prong of this where I'm like, well, why do you have the ability to undo it? Either let it be a thing or don't let it be a thing. Like this middle ground of we'll just override you seems like a sort of a pointless exercise.
Yeah, they're just going to repeal it. So it does seem kind of like a one-size-fits-all mandate, which reminds me of when the government came in during COVID and said if you have so many employees, they all have to have the vaccine.
Yeah.
It's like you can't mandate that on businesses.
Well, and also it's like too many people who don't sign fronts of paychecks get voices in things. And what I mean by that is if you have never owned a business, like you don't, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I'm just simply, and people who have owned business are going to nod as I say this. You have no concept what goes in to that check showing up in your account every 2 weeks, especially as a small business. It is really stressful. It's oftentimes really frustrating. And while something might be good for you as a worker, and no doubt that's going to be great for people who are workers, that would totally upset the ability to employ people, and you would see mass firings if that thing were to take effect.
Well, and I think that's what the governor is saying, that this is a killer for small businesses. Of course, Democrats are going to use this as ammo against him in the next election.
Totally. And so I do like, good on him for doing what he thought was right. He has the ability as governor to do this. Good on the legislature for doing what they thought was right. However, I think you have now, like, where are we at on the ballot initiatives? Because I've always seen both sides of this, too. On one hand, hey, if the people really want something,
this is their opportunity to make it happen.
And really be a check and balance on the legislature. But then there's the other side of it, and I've heard this argument, too. Well, wait a second. You have your say when you elect people. In this case, you send them to Indianapolis. Where are you at on this? How do you feel about ballot initiatives?
I'm kind of in the middle with you because you say you elect people and send them to Indianapolis to represent you, but we've seen time and time again, they get there and they don't represent you. They represent themselves and their own personal interests.
Yeah.
So that way is not a winner. But then you've got the ballot initiative, and then in states like Missouri, well, the governor can just repeal it and say, nah.
Yeah, because, like, for example, if you take all the people that hate Braun right now on the Republican side because of property taxes or the tolling or whatever, and you paired them with the, whatever it was, 41% or whatever, the Democrats who voted against him, I think he might have a hard time surviving a recall election. Like if you had that provision, and that would be a fascinating thing to see if there could actually be that sort of check and balance on our politicians. I also know that when as a pro-life person, I look at Indiana's pro-life, but I think it's pretty good. And then I compare that to places like Ohio, who, because they had ballot initiative, allowed essentially on-demand abortion activism in their state, even though it's a Republican state. I'm hesitant to say, oh, yeah, we should just totally have ballot initiatives because some might work in my favor, some might really not work in my favor.
You might get something that creeps in there that you're not in favor of. So the Democrat Party facing some steep credibility. There's a new poll that came out. It was by Unite the Country, and it said that voters increasingly view the Democrat Party as 1, out of touch, 2, woke, and 3, weak.
Isn't it interesting? Because there's some new data out, though, on the Republicans that is not good, too. So we're right back to where we always are in the wake of the big, beautiful bill bullcrap.
Well, the thing with the Republican Party, it's all directed towards Donald Trump. With this poll and the Democrat Party, I think it's more of a as a whole.
Well, so you're right. So but Trump is the Republican Party now.
Yeah.
You can't separate it. And that often happens, that the president is the reflection of the party in power, and it's hard to separate them, although I think it's super true with Trump because everybody's so afraid of him and is so subservient to him that it sort of now is one thing. But you're right. If you were the Democrats, and this is where it comes back to the crazy has taken over. The crazy has completely taken over the Democrat Party because what happened in 2024, it wasn't a love affair with Trump. I mean, Trump always tries to spin like, oh, the most popular president, blah, blah, blah. No. People looked at the way people voted for Biden foolishly, but voted for Biden because they craved stability back in that office. And they saw Biden as this sort of grandfatherly career type figure who, hey, he doesn't have a track record of being super left. I mean, obviously he was Obama's vice president, but as a senator, he did the crime reform and all this stuff. And like, okay, we can put this guy back in charge and we'll still keep most of the Trump stuff, but yet we're going to bring some level of order to the presidency. well, right. I mean, people at the time like us were like, you people are insane. He's going to be controlled by lunatics. And he's lost his mind.
And more it keeps coming out about the auto pen.
Well, sure. And so people didn't get that. They got a guy who was controlled by crazy people, who couldn't walk off a stage and was talking to dead people. And so they repivoted back to Trump because they were like, look, we cannot have 20 million people illegally in this country. We can't have all these foreign workers getting these protection statuses and, you know, taking over communities. And we got to do something about spending. And so they voted not because of a love affair of Trump, but a pivot out of, which is so often what elections are. Like, people keep looking for answers from the government. They're never going to find them from the government. So they just keep ping-ponging from one party back to the next, or one party back to the next. And you would think, all that being said, you would think as the Democrats, you'd say, okay, what were the messages that were sent to us by the American people in 2024? And it is, you got to get a grip on illegal immigration. You can't be just letting these people run in here and do whatever they want to do. People don't believe that little kids should be able to chop off their penises. They don't believe in men and women's sports. They don't believe, a bunch of these, while many Americans don't have the view on abortion that I do, they don't want it shoved down their throat. They don't want on-demand abortion access. They have limits with it. And you would say all of these things that you could easily, from a public policy position, say, okay, we heard the memo. Here's the new Democrat Party. Here's what we're going to do. Bill Clinton did this in the 1990s with the when they got slaughtered in the midterms of 94. What did he do? He didn't actually believe in the idea of a balanced budget, but he was like, okay, here's where the people are. I'm going to work with the Republicans. We're going to do A, B, and C. And the guy ended up being a wildly popular second-term president, even though he lied under oath and screwed everybody over. The policies worked, and people were happy, and they were like, you can't do that to our president, only we can. But the Democrats now, because they're totally controlled in a Twitter social media world by the far left people, when there's this wonderful opportunity, because the Republicans have screwed up and lied to everybody again about the spending and getting the federal government under control.
To go back to the center.
Yeah, there's this wonderful opportunity to govern and regulate from some center, you don't even have to be center right. You could almost be center left, but they can't get anywhere close to the center.
No, and according to the poll, the voters are calling for a new generation of leadership. Who is that going to be? Who's the new generation of leadership in the Democrat Party?
That's the problem.
AOC?
Right. That's because all the new, quote unquote, new people.
They're far, far left.
Right, exactly. So you're left with the face of the party being the Jasmine Crockett AOC people, and the society is like, well, yeah, the Republicans lied again. It's what happens in this state. Why are there no Democrats? Because the Democrats keep nominating people like Destiny Wells, who turn whatever office she's in to some on-demand abortion advocacy position, and people are like, no thanks.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
They also say they want less Washington establishment influence and more outside voices. But when you do have those people, they're ignored.
The problem is these politicians are completely bought and sold, and what the voters are clamoring for cannot exist because you cannot rise to the level of influence without the money that comes backing you. And this is what people haven't figured out. It's on both sides of the aisle, right? I was reading an article yesterday at The Hill, Politico, might have been Politico, about how the establishment, you look at that big bullcrap bill, it is an establishment bill. Trump has largely been tamed by the establishment. Now, he's gotten the border stuff, and they've learned to play ball with that because it's popular with the voters. But the establishment, if you look at that bill and the giveaways and who won and who called the shots throughout the process, that was not a Trump bill. That ended up being a Thune, Murkowski, Collins, the Mike Johnson bill. Trump is the establishment now for the most part. He is doing establishment type things. He's going along with those people in Washington. And if you look at AOC, she's not getting anywhere without the blessing of the money and the people that fund it. It's just it's not going to happen.
Especially the Democrat Party, they're needing to rebuild their credibility, but it's also starting to happen to the Republican Party as well.
The whole system's broken. The whole system is beyond repair, and we're just you just got to decide, do you want to sprint or slow burn your way to to doom and despair.
So Donald Trump sat down and had a really in-depth interview with his daughter-in-law.
Who may be running for Senate.
Right.
Oh.
But we're going to hear what he had to say coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
Now, the idea of Uber goes against everything we were taught as kids, though.
What's that?
Never get into a car with a stranger.
But there's
Now
betting.
we pay for it. We're literally paying the stranger to take us somewhere.
But at least there's some sort of vetting. You know the name of the person's coming.
So you'll know your kidnapper. It's like having an alarm on your car. Great, I can hear it being stolen.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Have recent storms caused damage to your roofing or siding? Cochran Exteriors is now offering free inspections to assess the condition of your home. From blown-offs to full replacements, Cochran Exteriors knows the insurance process and will make your home as good as new as fast as possible. Trust a company that was here before the storm and will be long after. For your free, no-obligation consultation, schedule today at CochranExteriors.com or call 317-ROOFING. Cochran Exteriors, referred for a reason for over 15 years.
Get ready to hit the links. The golf outing presented by Franciscan Health is almost ready to tee off. Join us Thursday, August 7th at the Legends Golf Course in Franklin. It's more than a round of golf. It's for a great cause. Proceeds benefit the Franciscan Health Foundation. Franciscan Health will host free cancer screenings on site, and you'll also find a silent auction, longest drive competition, and more. Be proactive about your health and get some swings in. It's a great excuse to take a day off work. Sign up now at 1075thefan.com.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
Something tells me I'm into something.
Okay, this song is the backing to one of the greatest scenes in movie history. Can you name it?
It's a thriller, isn't it?
Well, it's a comedy thriller.
Oh, okay.
In The Naked Gun,
Mm-hmm.
when they're going on their dates, this is what's playing, including
Right.
one of the greatest scenes. Now,
Mhm.
that movie is almost 40 years old, and I still laugh every time I see it.
Mm-hmm.
When they're coming out of the theater and they're laughing hysterically, and you think they've just seen, some great comedy, and it pans up and it was Platoon.
Right. Inappropriate.
Yes. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I know you had something riveting for us to discuss.
Oh, it was
Kendall Casey show.
Donald Trump being interviewed by his daughter-in-law.
The one that's running for Senate?
Mm-hmm.
In the state she doesn't live in?
Well,
Maybe.
she's a pundit currently, right?
Oh, she is a pundit.
So quite the get, right?
How do you get to be a pundit? Like, what qualifies you as a pundit?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, what does... If her name were Laura Smith...
Would she have the gig?
Right.
Probably not.
So, yeah, other than she was not even born into the family. She married into the family.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't marry the guy who is the thing. She married the son of the guy who is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that all of a sudden then makes you some sort of politico.
Well, apparently they were hoping that she would be able to get the big guy in for an interview,
Oh.
and she delivered.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is a Trump interview even interesting anymore? Like, are you fascinated if somebody sits down with Trump, is that... When Trump, for example, when Trump ran in 2016, anytime Trump was on like O'Reilly or Hannity, 2015, 2016, you had to see that.
Yeah, because you never knew what he was going to say.
Exactly. Is that a thing anymore?
Because you still don't know what he's going to say, though.
But is it all that interesting when that's happened so many times over so many years, right?
Used to the chaos.
Does the chaos attract you anymore, or are you just like, well, if something wacky is said, I'll just see it on Twitter?
I think a lot of people are really turned off by the whole Epstein thing, and they don't care what he says anymore.
That's a great point. Now, is she going to get into... because this is what's interesting to me. Tony was talking about how, I guess, Tucker went to CPAC.
Mm-hmm.
And Tucker was saying what we have said on this show. Now, he said it in a little more forceful way than we've said it. We have said there's a possibility. It would not surprise us if Epstein was acting as a foreign agent of some sort, and that's why Trump will not unveil the truth about Epstein.
Right.
I don't think that's some fringe opinion.
No, I don't believe so either.
I don't think that's some radical thing. They're clearly hiding something.
People have been mumbling that for a while.
Either people or what he was actually doing. And yet Tony was up in arms over Tucker saying something similar to that at CPAC, and he was like, this is the most outrageous opinion ever. Why? I don't think that's weird. If somebody told me right now Jeffrey Epstein was a foreign agent acting on behalf of the country of Israel, okay, doesn't shock me at all. And Tony was just up in arms, acting as though it was some crazy, we didn't land on the moon style opinion.
Do you think that's being naive or just defensive of Israel?
Well, I don't know. But I mean, I just wanted to pick your brain on that because he was when I was driving at a rapid rate of speed to get here this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, here, Trump. Let's see here. Very severe. Kylan doing her job. By the way, Kylan's done a phenomenal job as our producer the past several days. I guess Kevin's coming back tomorrow.
Trump just announced his deal with Ukraine. I have the audio right now if you want.
We have a new deal with Ukraine. Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Let's hear it.
Among the most successful countries in the world. So that's the story. We hope that's going to have an impact on Vladimir Putin, and we hope it's going to have an impact on Ukraine also. We want to make sure that Ukraine does what they have to do. All of a sudden they may feel emboldened, or maybe they don't want. This is a very difficult situation.
Ukraine wants a peace deal.
I think so.
And they will stay committed to that. There's no doubt. They want it. But the
This is the NATO guy. It's the other guy talking. The NATO head.
Yeah.
You and I will make sure of that.
I want to call him Daddy.
You and I will make sure of that.
We'll make sure.
Trump to send weapons to Ukraine via NATO. Okay, thank you, Kylan. Okay, so nothing's changed. So there's another lie we caught him in. So now he's sending weapons via third. So that's different than us sending the weapons directly. We're still paying for it. The military-industrial complex is still thriving. Oh, and now Russia's going to get a bunch of sanctions, he said, in 50 days if they don't solve the issue.
50 days. But is that target going to move like all of the other tariffs have?
So now am I going to be – what did he call the people that are questioning Epstein in his tweet that he put out? There was something, he gave us a name if you've got questions about the Epstein stuff in the big tweet. Am I going to be called a name now for saying, well, you promised to end this in a day,
a conspiracy theorist?
You promised to not in the military industrial complex, never ending sending a gajillion missiles.
Well, we promised on day one.
Yeah. And so now it's not day one. I mean, we're past 180 days and you're still sending money to these people, which means we'll still be paying for them. What difference does it make whether you're sending them through NATO or not? We're still sending weapons to these people. We're still going to pay for it unless the military-industrial complex has started running some sort of soup factory that soup line that I'm not aware of. What's changed?
So when he was talking with his daughter-in-law, they mostly focused on the 1-year anniversary of the assassination attempt.
Right.
And one of the things that Donald Trump said was that he got whacked.
Well, it was unforgettable. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I got whacked. There's no question about that. And fortunately got down quickly. And people were screaming, and I got down quickly, fortunately, because I think they shot 8 bullets. Then one got me, and one got another one, and one got another one, and one killed Corey, the firefighter, great guy. And, we had a tremendous, massive crowd. Tens of thousands of people were there. And our sniper, within less than 5 seconds, was able to get him from a long distance with one shot.
So there's still lots of questions surrounding Thomas Crooks, like Hammer was mentioning earlier. Like, one, what was his motive? Did he have accomplices? Did he plan a larger attack? why was he cremated so soon after the attack, and what roles did his family play?
Well, and I think the obvious point is Trump's in charge of everything. Wouldn't he be invested in getting those answers? I mean, they tried to kill you.
Yeah, you'd think so. But then he went on to tell Laura Trump that he's satisfied with the briefing that he received from the FBI, the DOJ, and the Secret Service.
So they briefed me numerous times, the FBI, the Secret Service, sort of everybody. DOJ, Pamela's doing I think she's doing a fantastic job. But they briefed me, and I'm satisfied with it. They should have had somebody in the building. That was a mistake. They should have had communications with the local police. They weren't tied in. And they should have been tied in. So there were mistakes made. And that, shouldn't have happened. And that building was a prime building in terms of what they were trying to do. So, but I was satisfied in terms of the bigger plot, the larger plot. I was satisfied. And, I have great confidence in these people. I know the people, and they're very talented, very capable. They had a bad day, and I think they'll admit that.
They had a bad day!
Mm-hmm.
They had a bad day?
They did have a bad day.
I mean, look, buddy, it's your life if that's all you expect. So what? I guess the end story is this kid just acted all on his own. He figured it out on his own. He was able to get up on that roof and just got lucky that they weren't there. He just picked the one place they were, like that. And there's nothing on the internet about him. And that's it. And that's Trump satisfied with that story?
Yeah, and he's no longer with us. And the Secret Service people were not let go.
By the way, selfish people is what he called those of us that are questioning Epstein. So my question now is, Mr. President, am I selfish for demanding to know what's changed with Ukraine? Especially, remember when he had that big brouhaha with Zelensky and at the Oval Office, and Vance was there, and so now
Rubio was there.
Am I a selfish person for demanding to know why you haven't ended this in one day? Why we're still doing the same things you criticized Biden for, which is sending military weapons, which we're paying for, which we have no money, so we're paying for with printed money. For this war to continue. Am I a selfish person for demanding answers on that the same way I'm a selfish person for demanding answers on Epstein?
Does it concern you at all now that he's ratcheting up the rhetoric against Russia? He's saying, hey, higher tariffs, 50 days.
I just think it's par for the course now. And I think Trump has figured out that the Republican Party is totally petrified of him, and most of these people are completely subservient to him, and whatever two-faced little dance they got to do to stay in his good graces, nobody's going to question it in Washington. Nobody's going to stand up. Nobody who was vehemently against, other than the usual Rand Paul Massey people, are going to say anything about this, and he'll just do whatever he's going to do.
We've got to talk about the Secretary of State. Can we? He's at it again.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He was on his tiptoes again.
Ours? I thought you meant Rubio.
No.
You're talking about
the
Diego.
Indiana.
He was on his tiptoes again?
He was.
Oh, jeez.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Dive teams hampered by debris. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Ever since flooding hit Texas on 4th of July weekend, the search continues for roughly 160 people who are still missing.
They have a hard time searching in there because that water is you can't see through it.
That's Kerrville Assistant City Manager Michael Hornez talking about Lake Nimitz. He says extra rainfall hasn't helped things either. As for when rain could arrive in Indiana next,
Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking at right now. We're calling for about 70% chance for both of those days.
That's Casey Crosby with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring parts of Florida as a developing weather system is expected to bring heavy rain to the southeast. It's sunny and 79 on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Indiana summer storms are rolling in, and if you're like me, you're not climbing up on your roof to check for damage. That's why you call Moss Roofing. Family-owned. Right here in central Indiana for over 30 years, Moss Roofing gives you something hard to find these days: honest work and peace of mind. They offer free inspections, and I mean a real thorough checkup of your roof, your siding, your gutters, and your windows. If there's storm damage, they'll show you the photos, explain everything clearly and thoroughly, and even work with your insurance company for you. No stress, no pressure, just real professionals doing the job right every single time. Protect your home and avoid bigger problems later. Call Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Family owned, Moss Roofing. 747-3665 or online at Moss. M-O-S-S. MossRoofing.com.
You know, sometimes dealing with home service contractors can be frustrating, whether it's missed appointments, sloppy workmanship, or just a general sense of indifference about helping you. Frustrating hardly describes that experience, Hammer.
And that's why we want to welcome a new advertiser to the Hammer and Nigel family, somebody you're going to be hearing quite a bit about in the coming months, Victor's Home Solutions.
Victor's installs the highest quality roofs available for your home, and they take all those negative stereotypes and turn them on their head.
They start with the basics, prompt, follow-up, showing up to appointments on time. And then they go above and beyond with installation teams that are so skilled, so precise, that Victor's is able to offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install.
5-star customer service and perfect installation. You're going to be really impressed with Victor's. They're the only roofer Hammer and I recommend to our listeners. It all starts with a free 21-point roof inspection. Call 1-866-VICTORS or victors.com.
Summer's in full swing, so come get that hot summer deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, plus 0% for 72 months. Or lease a new 2025 Lincoln Corsair for just $499 per month at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 110,425. Corsair MSRP 53,915. 3,500 due at lease signing. 0 security deposit. 36 months. 10,500 miles per year. Offers good through 7/31/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. Destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, August 2nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Our show, Expedition Retirement, now has a new name. Join us for Fire Your Financial Advisor, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Go on.
He did it again. Let's talk about Indiana Secretary of State, shall we? He posted a picture of himself. He was at the Clay County Fair.
Yes.
Beautiful summer night, meeting Hoosiers and showing them all of my office does for the state.
What does your office do for the state, Diego? What do you do?
He was on his tiptoes again. This poor girl's standing next to him. She's the Clay County Fair queen.
You do wonder if she was blinking twice as that photo was.
I know. She's beautiful. She's fabulous. But, like, how awkward. Was she like, oh, do I have to?
Well, the tiptoe thing. So for those of you who are new to the program, Diego Morales, the Secretary of State, and I can say this is a short person. He is really short.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there are very few people that when I stand next to them, I tower over them.
Mm-hmm.
And that photos, plural, that got released of us having our little back and forth at the Clay County Lincoln Day, like, I'm towering over him. So he's got to be, is he 5'2"? Maybe?
I don't know how
and again,
tall he is.
I can say this as
It's
a short
public
person.
record.
Yes. And so he started doing this bizarre thing, or at least it got discovered a couple months ago, where in almost every photo, especially with someone who's taller than him, which is almost everyone, men, women, whatever, he stands on his tiptoes.
Yeah.
So as though we won't know that he's short?
I think it's just a habit.
That's
get up there.
That's
on
a
those
weird habit,
tiptoes.
Casey.
He's wearing gym shoes.
Having been a short person my entire life, unless I am in the back row of a group photo where, you might stand up, some people could see your head or move your head around.
Peek your head out.
Never in my entire life has it dawned on me, I should really stand on my tiptoes so I look taller with people. Like, why? Why would you care? That's a very weird thing, isn't it?
The height you are is the height you are. It's one of those things you can't change.
Everyone knows you're a big shorty, buddy. It's not going to change. But yes, he did take this photograph with this Miss Clay County Fair Queen, and there he is, right there again,
on his tiptoes.
On the tiptoes.
I wonder if he's on his tiptoes when he's making these videos.
Happy Monday, Hoosiers. Indiana Secretary of State Diego Morales here. Over the coming weeks, I will be sharing updates on policy and the great work our office is doing for Hoosiers, such as legislation strengthening Indiana's voter ID laws, especially voting by mail with House Bill 1334 passed in 2023. In fact, I'm leading the charge to require voter ID for all forms of voting across all 50 states. Remember, our doors at the Secretary of State's office open at 7 a.m.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, we did want to update everyone that they're still refusing to show any proof that we have asked for related to that trip to India, where the things we have asked for, we said, look, we want to see remember, because he tried to say, well, I paid the money back. And then he did the bizarre thing at the Lincoln Day because he was in a panic of, you show me your paycheck and I will show you mine, that I paid the money back. I was like, oh, okay. Well, then when we talked to these people that are in banking and people in accounting, they're like, you would be an absolute moron of epic proportions if you accepted seeing that check without the following things. Number one, proof it was deposited. And they showed me what I should ask for with that, which we did. And they said also the receipts to match what it paid for, because any business expense would involve, here's the receipt. So you go on a business trip or whatever, here's what I'm paying back. And that's not, and I asked a person who's been in payroll for years. I asked multiple people who are in the banking industry. They said, yeah, that's just like basic stuff. He should have no problem showing that. And he flat out refused to show it. And so we just said, smooch both of our butt cheeks. We're not going to accept your check with not even, one, we wouldn't know who it was made out to because he's going to blur the name of who it was. So you still wouldn't know who paid for India. You wouldn't know it was deposited. And you wouldn't know
if it matched the cost of the trip.
Of course not. So we're not going to give him the credit of acting like he did anything for the taxpayer. So we said, we reject your your terms and conditions, and we'll just keep talking about how you didn't pay that money back.
So Jamie Rittenauer is starting a campaign for delegate votes to win the Secretary of State's race.
She finally grew some ballular area over the weekend.
She did. I noticed she didn't tag you in this post. I think it's because she knows that I do the template every day.
She was very critical of what's going on with the Secretary of State's office. And look, ultimately, just like with the lieutenant governor or whatever, the delegates are going to make the choice on whether they want 4 more years of this guy. And this guy is exhausting, Diego. It's constant shenanigans, whether it's the no-bid contracts, which the legislature had to force him to stop doing, whether it's the hiring of the brother-in-law and then the bonuses and the big contract, whether it's the refusal to come clean on who paid for India, any sort of accountability for what he's doing in these foreign countries, whether it's blowing off budget session. I mean, it's just look at the fundraising this guy is doing. Why would people be giving the Indiana Secretary of State tens of thousands of dollars? Does that make any? He's an administrator. You pay your fee, you fill out your paperwork, approved. Thank you. Have a nice life, right? Unless there's more to the story than that,
more to the story, or he has his sights set on something.
And so the delegates of the Indiana Republican Party are going to have to decide: do you want 4 more years of these constant, never-ending shenanigans? Look, is the tiptoe thing by itself a big deal? No, absolutely not.
That's just
when
silly.
You couple it with all of the other stuff, and I mean, again, let's talk about the Raju contract that Abdul found a whole bunch of stuff related to that mysterious contract that Diego has with Raju, on top of the things that Stephen Whitmer came out with the other day on. And it's just like, this is business as usual in that office. And if you're tired of the shenanigans, if you're tired of the grift, if you're tired of being taken advantage of, then this will be the voters' opportunity to do something about it. I'm not optimistic based on the choices they've made in the past, but ultimately, it ain't going to be in my hands because I'm not a delegate, and we've pushed it as far as we can push it. And the India stuff is not above board. The fact that he won't come clean on it is a giant red flag. If you accept that from your government, he's more than happy to keep doing it. We've taken it as far as we can take it.
We've got Amelia Earhart, Elmo, and Rosie O'Donnell in the news.
I thought you were going to say Amelia Earhart was joining us next.
We've got Amelia Earhart joining us next. That would be a little weird, wouldn't it? No, but there is something going on with her plane, and we'll talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon, 3:06. The biggest stories in Indy. Guy Relford joins us, and nobody's going to have more fun.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Thursday, July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, August 2nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey guys, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, consider checking out the place we call home, Life Church. Now, we attend the Eagle Creek location, but one of the great things about Life Church, which there are many, is that wherever you're at in central Indiana, there's a location close by. They're in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. And if you'd like to check it out for yourself, you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own living room. They've got incredible online services. Life Church is warm. They're welcoming. They've had a great impact on our life. They'd love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. Check them out on the web. Learn more about everything. lifechurchin.com.
Basketball fans of the W, convention goers and visitors of all kinds, welcome to Indianapolis, a great event hosting city thanks to Hoosier hospitality and terrific infrastructure like state-of-the-art stadiums, meeting spaces, and hotels, plus a world-class airport and interstates that make it easy to get around. But these buildings and roads don't just happen. They're built by men and women living here in central Indiana. Union members of Labor's Local 120 maintain and build Indy's roads, bridges, and highways. They're the ones you pass as you drive by the orange barrels. It's hard work, dangerous work. Yet there they are, working to make sure you have a smoother, safer ride to your event. And just like you, they'd like to get home safe too. So let's be mindful of the local workers who make the roads safe for all of us.
This is Chris Bricky, business manager of Labor's Local 120. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down. Save lives. We're all in this together.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text Rocky to 369369. That's ROCKY to 369369. Rocky to 369369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you used to hear a whole lot of this, but now you can barely hear this, you need to check out RelayIndiana.com and the Caption Telephone. The Caption Telephone allows you to get your groove back when using the telephone. It uses voice recognition technology so you can read on a bright screen what the other caller is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com and add clarity back into your conversations with the Caption Telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, save an extra 25% off all in-stock outdoor furniture. Sleep up to 10 degrees cooler and the lowest price guaranteed on every mattress. And save up to 50% off Lazy Boy, Smith Brothers, Flex Steel, and lift chairs. Plus, we pay your sales tax and deliver it all for free. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
We're halfway through July, which means the golf outing powered by Franciscan Health is just around the corner. Thursday, August 7th at the Legends Golf Club in Franklin. Rally your crew for a day of huge drives, ice-cold drinks, and nonstop good vibes. This event sells out fast, so don't wait. Sign up now at 1075thefan.com.
Okay, so for these people who are trying to say, well, Trump and these missiles that are going to Ukraine, the NATO, EU, whatever, they're paying 100% of this. Does anybody believe that? Does anybody believe? So what, we're led to believe that that's actually going to happen? Nobody believes that because that never happens. We always end up paying most of all of these engagements. That happens every single time.
Well, when he was there speaking with NATO, he did have the, what's his title? Administrator of NATO call him daddy, and how he admitted that Trump got them to pay their fair share.
Yeah, nobody believes that Americans aren't going to be on the hook for this in some shape, form, or fashion. We always are. We always pay it. He can say whatever he wants to say unless somebody has backed a pallet full of cash up to the White House and says, here's the money in advance. I don't believe for a second that it's going to be dollar for dollar going out the door. We will continue to subsidize the war in Ukraine.
So there's a research team that is supported by Purdue, and they're preparing for an expedition to recover Amelia Earhart's lost plane, the Electra.
Okay. So I watched an old episode of Unsolved Mysteries the other day.
Yeah.
This was from 35 years ago. And the theory then was that the plane crashed in the ocean and that the parts of the plane have washed up, but they think they know where the plane is now?
Yeah, it's located in the South Pacific, halfway between Australia and Hawaii on this little island. They said that there's some visual anomaly that they keep seeing with satellite images in the island's lagoon, and that it's believed to be the wreckage of the Electra.
Now,
the plane she flew.
One of the great mysteries of American history is what happened to her plane. Obviously, you assume most people know, but for those who don't, Amelia Earhart was a decorated female pilot in the 20s and 30s, and her plane mysteriously vanished. It is believed that she flew off course, went into a dead area, and now conspiracy theories, she was captured by the Japanese, she was seen on Japanese military bases, etc. But nobody really knows. However, it is believed that part of the plane at various locations throughout history has washed up on various shores, and it does tend to give credence that the plane was wrecked, whether it was into the ocean itself or on land somewhere or whatever, and that there were no survivors.
So the plane crashed in 1937. Purdue believes that they have the rightful connection to her missing plane because, well, for one, they help fund it and support her flying missions.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I do. They say that over the past 40 years, there's been a lot of evidence saying that she didn't crash into the sea and that this actually is the plane. So they're going to go there for 5 days and check it out. And if they find anything, bring it back.
Well, good, good on them. I mean, I think sometimes certain things are just better left alone and left left unknown, left to the mystery, left to the mystique of the human mind. But in this case, good. If that's what they want to do with their time, and they've got somebody that's willing to pay for it, and it's not me, then go ahead, have at it.
Well, it was known as a flying laboratory, right? I don't know what they think they'll find if they get the wreckage. Like,
well, you're not going to find her, obviously.
Well, no, not her, but what they would find in the equipment, or why they need to find it.
Well, it's like the Titanic, right? I mean, the people wanted for years to go down there and view the Titanic because it's this iconic piece of not just American history and the fact that it was coming to this country, but human history. And obviously, all these years later, like, they're still making movies about it. And tragically, those people just lost their lives as a tourist attraction going down to it a couple of years ago. And this is sort of the same thing, right? Even though there's less known about Amelia Earhart, everybody knows what happened to the Titanic. It sank, right? And they knew basically where it was, and it just took technology to finally advance to the point where they could get down there and go see it. This, you have no idea. Did she run out of gas? Was it shot out of the sky? Did she fly off? Like, there's all these conspiracy theories, and maybe this will help put some of that to rest.
Over the weekend, the X account of Elmo was hacked. The official Elmo account hacked. And
got pretty vile, didn't it?
Oh, it got really, really vile. One of the things that the hacker said was to release the files.
Yes, Epstein. Elmo got really nasty about the Epstein files.
And here's a message from Elmo for you.
Hi, friend. Elmo loves you, and Elmo will tell you every day if you need Elmo to. See you tomorrow.
And on that note, we'll say goodbye for the day, too.
I see what you did there. That's very well done.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kylan. And thank you for listening today. We'll catch you back here tomorrow. This is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Fostech is American-made firearms made right here in Indiana. American craftsmanship meeting cutting-edge innovation. Their lightweight AR-15s are incredible, and they don't sacrifice dependability or durability. Advanced machining capabilities create incredible products, and they are all designed, machined, assembled, and tested right here in Indiana. Fostech, owned by a family that has served and loved their country. Visit Fostech.com, F-O-S-T-E-C-H, Fostech.com to find the dealer near you.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market, just 20 minutes north of Carmel. We're proud to bring you the freshest produce farmed right here in Indiana and across the Midwest. And don't miss our home-style fried chicken, scratch-made bakery, and a deli packed with ready-to-go favorites. Got a sweet tooth? Check out a variety of old-fashioned candies, the kind that brings back sweet memories from your childhood. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about local freshness, friendly faces, and food that feels like home. Wilson Farm Market. That's Wilson Farm Market.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
History returns with the Brickyard 400 at the famed 2.5-mile oval, celebrating NASCAR's roots at the racing capital of the world. Brickyard weekend starts Thursday, July 24th with the Indiana Sprint Week race, with sprint cars running on the IMS dirt track for the first time ever. Saturday, July 26th, get ready for action with the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250. Then Sunday, July 27th, the NASCAR Cup Series Brickyard 400, presented by PPG, returns to the oval of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Buy now and save at IMS.com.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you, up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It takes everyone in the community working together to create a brighter future. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Visit liveunited.org to learn how you can help.
On the level, on the go.